Stories of white dragons in the northern sky reaches go back beyond the First Age, soldier. Skazerius the Limber, Netherax the Betrayer, Snagmore the Grim Eater. They even speak of Golgrungrax, the Eyeside One, foe of Anum's first sons, a dragon so colossal and so ancient even during the First Age, its tail is now marked near Thrain's edge, while its surviving spine forms a land bridge over the western approach to the Frostmoors. They say there are needle-like dragon teeth 10 stories high and made of a pearl-like white glass near the rear gates of Ankhorn. They say the giants took them and used them to build the original gate, which can still be seen. You know, they also speak of an impenetrable wall at the edge of the ocean, deep in the astral sea, a wall that can be seen beyond all horizons, made from the aeries of hundreds of thousands of dragons, stretching up into the forever twilight beyond Sedariel, an endless honeycomb structure, perhaps a pillar of creation, said to mark the edge of the universe. For most, the dragons of Sedariel represent an abstract evil that demolished the Asturian Empire, the pinnacle of giant civilization and culture. Many evil dragons were banished or imprisoned. The ordaining of the giants were left with no fight either. History recalls that Queen Gudela Sehanine Ildruin Erathani signed the First Treaty of Vaingate, a document that ushered the end of the Asturian Empire's reign in Sedariel as the giants took their leave. Few will admit that it was the Lich King Israel who ended the Dragon Wars himself, a war criminal with few allies, at first outnumbered. Fighting on multiple fronts at the same time, Israel, who proved capable of doing that which no one else could. He drove back the giants and the dragons. And he was the sworn enemy of the Elven High Queen all the while. Thus it was that with help from his admirers and tutors, Israel gained the respect and admiration of an interplanar patron, a deity-like figure who bestowed upon him godlike powers of devastation and regeneration. Undead monsters, zombies, skeletons, hundreds of new constructs did he call forth from the deep. Necromancy. Massive bone golems like giant trees and bone-made forms of all kinds, each one a new horror, each one a life saved. It was by this power that the worm would finally be defeated. Toppling empires now with his new power, Israel had uncovered the path of the Lich, the Arch-Lich. He would bind himself in an unholy pact with his patron and become a kind of demigod. First he built his first phylactery, the city of despair, Shaliku. He also called forth the dead forms of 3 dragons to join him. Soon the Draco-Liches and demigod of death ruled a government of liches and undead revenants from this new centre of power. Finally, with half the world in his hands, Queen Gudela, Sehanine Ildruin Erathani, and other fair races of Sedariel and their allies came to Israel and petitioned him to stand down his armies. He had taken half the world and purged it. The dragons and the giants had retreated or become extinct. But there was no war to be had. Queen Gudela Sehanine Ildruin Erathani pled with him that his power was too much. And here is the detail of Israel's life most often misquoted or otherwise simply ignored. The Arch-Lich, with a force and strength of will, according to the sources, totaling 100 elephants, tore the crown of ire from his head and made a pilgrimage to his resting place, the location of the sufferance from whence he would never leave, not until he finished giving out his prophecies, the now fabled prophecies of Israel. Within 3 days of abandoning his throne, his undead armies crumbled. A few zombies and other undead constructs held on with a perverse grip, but the backbone of his forces collapsed almost immediately to ruin. The lesson here, my fair friend, is not to take anyone's story as gospel, for surely there are no such things as dragons. Welcome to the Vaingate Chronicles. So I'm Russell Kirkby, and these are my friends, Max Easy, who's playing Edryn Montcoff. Joanna Grotenhouse is playing Dala. That is full name Goodale Dala Talandaran. We have Barry Tahira as Ren. That is Galandel Ren Talandaran. We have Steve Austin as Leith Mistralath. Michael Bache as Adrik Fogdar. And recently joining us, but now really pretty much a full-fledged member of the Vaingate Chronicles crew, Caitlin Flower as Nyla.
Hello.
So a little bit of detail has been added to their screens. Hopefully their screens don't end up switching around because of Zoom and stuff. And if it does, we will edit stuff on the fly, because that's what we do. TV magic. And DM at the same time. Magic. Because that's what we love. So anyway, sorry about the long intro. Hope it was at least evoked some ideas and images, perhaps. So, let us begin. Edryn, sir. So we have to cover a little bit about what has happened in the last game, because Edryn was very ill and fell unconscious. So approximately this point in the story, what is about to happen is Edryn is going to find himself in a steel cage. Thanks to one of your party members who suggested that I steal another idea that I'd had previously and use it on you instead. And I thought that was brilliant, so you can blame your friend Caitlin Flower for this.
Oh, mean.
Caitlin, you fuck.
Wow.
It was either him or me and Ren, okay? I made the wise decision.
Right. So the deal is that Edryn is sitting in this metal cage on wheels, being drawn by some rather heavy draft horses along this mostly dusty, sometimes occasionally wet and snowy road through mud and high water as you forge through a very cold river and out the other side. And now the cage is wet, and you are wet, and this is all very, very unpleasant. With you at this point, now there will be a possibility for some minor flashbacks if required, but I'm going to try and avoid them if possible. My plan is to go directly into this, where we have the rest of our companions are either at a different location or they are with you, and 2 members of the Wizards of the Barachiel Envoy. Also with you is Lord that guy,
Randall?
Balkinard. Lord Balkinard. Obviously. Why? Yes. So, with you is Lord Balkinard and his son. I know that Ren is dressed in his other son's armour, with a helm over his face, so that you cannot actually tell who Ren is right now, to be fair. Who is not present? There's Leith, Adrik, and Dala are presently not here. So obviously Nyla is somewhere around you, and
I've shifted into winter form, so my hair has gone back to the snowy white, and it's currently plaited down, and I'm wearing like a full black trapper's outfit thing.
Okay.
And I'm leading the party. And I'm pretending.
Trapper's outfit, and you're leading the party. Okay.
Yeah, pretty much. I've got a mask up across here, so
Okay.
all you can see is like the white hair and the eyes, and I am leading the charge, and I'm scouting.
Okay. I will get you to make a perception check.
Perception. Ooh, that's a good one. 21.
21. That is pretty good. So you go for a number of hours. At this point, is there anything that you wanted to add in there somewhere before this happens? Anything at all? This is your last chance.
Probably when the Barachiel turned up with Edryn in a cage, me and Ren probably would have debated releasing him now or to just keep going with the plan.
Right.
Keep going with the plan.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is the outcome, but like, yeah.
All right, so you just keep going with the plan. Okay, cool. All right, so you're heading out of town with this contingent then. There are something like 4 or 5 knights amongst you as well. So there's these soldiers, there's some mercenaries who seem to work for the Barachiel envoy. They seem to be a little bit more ragtag. They've got fancy clothes on, actually, those mercenaries. But they seem to be able to afford them. They also have some funky scars. So, it's what you get for...
How many mercenaries are there?
There's 3 mercenaries, and there's 5 knights who work directly for Lord Balkinard.
So the knights are Balkinards?
Yep. They have helmets and visors on, so they're not very easy to identify except by their crests.
And how many Barachiel are there?
There are 2 actual wizards of the Barachiel. One seems to be a senior to the other. And the Barachiel are the ones who control the mercenaries.
I assumed.
Yeah.
Mercenaries belong to the wizards. Okay. Good to know.
Okay. Meanwhile, everybody else who's at the other location, you wake up the following morning. And it's cold. And you're surrounded by a thin layer of frost on everything, every surface. It gleams in the moon, in the moons, but also in the twin suns of the morning.
I guess we should be setting up this ambush this morning.
Oh, I hate the north. Oh, I hate the north.
It's bitterly cold.
We've got the boulders all set up. I'll have a quick look to make sure it's not frozen solid. And Adrik will go over to the boulders very quickly to make sure that the frost hasn't forced it into a rigid pyramid.
Okay. All right, you go and check. Can you make a survival check?
Survival can do.
Do you have any reason to have advantage?
No reason, but I've got a 19 anyway.
Okay, that's fair.
He has stone cunning.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean,
Actually did have...
a stone cunning would lift that to 23.
Right, so there you go. Okay, so cool. Yep, it seems to be fine. Your trap, you believe, is intact and functional. That was the objective.
Trap's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Trap's good, guys. Are you all set?
You notice at that moment that there are some very big, juicy birds and their eggs roosting opposite you on the other side of the gap.
And the gap is 50 feet. The other side of the gap is 50 feet away from me.
The other side of the gap's a little closer up here because the shape of the jagged cut that drew this hole in the wall, you see. So actually at your end it's more like 45 feet, maybe 40 feet.
Hey, you lot aren't especially hungry, are you?
I could use a little to eat, but
Well, yes. If you were feeling partial to using some of your skills to waylay those birds and bring them over, I'd be grateful.
They look to be making a home over there.
Well, needs must, I'm afraid.
We could just take some eggs, perhaps.
We could take some eggs.
I'll go across and take a look.
I might just by pointing out the eggs, I might stay here just in case of the boulders.
And Dala's sorting through her components and looking for any rations she might have in her pack.
Okay. I'm assuming you've got some rations.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm assuming that you are as aware as you would be that they're going to run out sooner or later, and you don't know how long your mission is for, and you do have a bag of holding or two, so there's that. I don't know how long you want to go on eating the same thing for. I mean, technically, you guys are basically millionaires. You could eat anything you want. So...
We're the cheapest adventurers ever. Adrik's got 5,000 gold, hasn't spent a cent in weeks.
If we were to procure the eggs, how would we cook them? We don't.
No fire.
Well, I've got means to make fire.
No, but that's the point. We don't want to alarm anybody. Up here, you'll see fire and smoke for miles.
Yes, I just think I'll stick to my rations, actually, to be quite honest.
That's a good point, Dala. Rations might be best.
If we had Edryn here, he could do that thing he does with the prestidigitation.
Prestidigitation?
I wonder how he's faring today.
Better, I hope. We haven't had any we haven't received any word back from the Nyla and Ren, have we?
No, I sent them that message that we had the trap ready to be sprung. I could send them another message to see if how they're going. Maybe check in on Edryn.
I might be best.
Okay. Well, if you wouldn't mind, perhaps coming up with the right words. I'm just going to finish my devotionals, and asking the gods for an omen, blessing of some sort. Make sure we're on the right path.
Right. Now, because, sometimes, once in a while, not very often, fighting comes up in Dungeons and Dragons, and you're required to commit all sorts of murderous, nasty acts to survive.
This is true.
Because of this possibility that is distinct in this game, I'm going to get you to roll your initiative now, just in case at some point in the future, whether it be in 5 minutes or an hour from now.
Yada, 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 yada.
Thank you for that lengthy explanation.
Initiative rolled.
My objective is to bore you to death so that you forget that I even asked you to do this, and then you will not be on guard.
That's a crit for Adrik on initiative. Fuck yeah.
The same with Leith, actually.
Hey,
same with Edryn.
21.
Right.
21.
Bollocks, the three of us got a crits.
Starting with Edryn, that was a 21. Is that right?
Yep. I got a crit as well, just FYI.
Wow. Dala,
what the hell?
28.
Dala, what did you get?
17.
17, okay. Ren.
You muted, Barry.
I still no hear you.
It is no working well.
It is no working. Okay, I will roll your...
It was a 15.
Was it 15? Oh, okay, cool. 15.
The mikey thingy, talkie thingy is not working.
Oh, that's never fun. Okay, Leith?
21.
21.
I rolled a crit as well.
Adrik, oh, wow, that's a crit.
20. Just a 20.
Just a 20. And Nyla, that was like a 26 or something.
28.
Fuck me.
Because it was a crit, and I've got +8 to initiative.
That should be illegal.
+8? How do you get +8 on initiative?
Alert.
I
That's the
have
alert feat,
I
right?
have alert feat.
Wow.
And I also get something else from other things.
That makes sense.
Awesome.
Just means that all of our rolls from here on out can't be bad because we just wasted all of our crits.
Don't say that.
Don't say it. Don't say it.
Right. So, after a certain amount of time, you have your breakfast and you're traveling along the road, and the twin suns are rising, arcing towards each other. They do this strange thing where they cast out these almost like wings of glowing light into the atmosphere that you can almost see them. They're like fields of magic, and certain magic users use that to draw upon from time to time. And as you feel the temperature warming up just a degree or two over the course of about 2 hours, and the frost begins to melt, and you can hear a little trickle in the trees where the melt has begun from the daylight. Just a little bit. This is about as hot as it's going to get on this day, you suspect. And in the distance you can hear the sound of a squeaking noise in the very far distance, from on top of the wall where you're encamped. Edryn, of course, is well aware of that squeaking noise, for it is the wheels of his cage as he rocks interminably towards the wall and the hole in it where the ambush is set. Dun, dun, dun.
Can we see this envoy at the moment?
You can see them, Leith. Would you like to make a stealth check, though? Before
Sure.
they see you.
Advantage on that for me. 18?
An 18. Okay, very good. So you stealthily hide behind some of the Asturian ruins here at the top of the giant wall that crosses the continent.
I'm going to make sure that I'm about 100 feet from the ground on a perch.
Okay.
At the side of the thing, and when I judge that they're a couple of minutes away, I'm going to use my staff of power to cast Wall of Force across the opening.
The opening below you, that is.
Yeah, or at the level of the road.
Right. Can you?
So that'll stop the envoy passing through.
Right, and that's got a duration of how long?
10 minutes.
10 minutes. Is it a concentration spell?
It is. Yep.
Okay, just checking. All right, so you're basically holding this action for when they get close enough.
I'm going to cast it when they're a minute away.
1 minute away. Okay, so
yep.
60 seconds. Oh, I'm not doing the maths for that. Okay, we can estimate that. That's fine.
Yep.
Okay, moving right along. So, I have your initiative. So, Leith, you're third. So, actually, Nyla, who just left the seat. Nyla. Nyla, you're on top of initiative.
Hey! Well, that works. I'm the scout on the
You're
envoy.
the scout, right? So you're... Okay, so what form are you in? You're on a horse.
Just a horse.
With a uniform on.
Yep.
Okay, and so behind these... you see the scout. Those of you on the wall need to make perception checks, I think, at this point.
19.
7.
Adrik, you cannot yet discern them from one another. However, Leith, you absolutely can. Gadal is somewhere in the middle. There's one or two of them you're not sure about. But Leith, what you can see with your 19 is you can discern the differences between the knights, even the mercenaries from the knights, and the wizards stand out like wizards.
So it's just the Barachiel wizards that we're after, right?
As far as you know.
As far as I know.
Right.
Yeah.
You also, Leith, at this point you see that Max's character, Edryn, is in a cage being wheeled along this road. Now, Edryn, what are you actually doing right now? What are you doing? Are you holding onto the cage? Talk to me, my friend.
The most immediate thing is, after feeling the cold,
right,
he's going to reach down to his feet grab his shoes, do prestidigitation to warm them up for an hour.
Does he need any components for that?
Nope.
So for your information, all of your gear is in the hands of currently one of these wizards.
All right. Okay. Sweet. So anything that needs a material component, I'll make note of that. But most of my stuff, actually, that's about a half of my spells. There we go.
In fact, Max, you can make a. Can you make a Arcana check while we're here?
Can do. That is a 15.
Okay, with your 15, you've been listening to the talk between the two wizards of the Barachiel envoy, and you get the impression one is most definitely the superior of the other. One of them calls the other. He calls him Lord Abjurer.
Lord Abjurer. Oh, Lord Abjurer. Right, yeah. That makes sense.
Like it's a title to him.
Yeah.
The Lord Abjurer turns back to him and he says, when he refers to him simply as mage. Okay.
Edryn is going to...
Serene, welcome.
Ooh, huzzah.
Yay!
I heard the little bing bing.
Yes.
Edryn's going to turn to the Lord Abjurer
Yes.
and say, Lord Abjurer.
This wizard walks up alongside your cage. You.
Where exactly are we going?
That is for you to find out. I hate to be so obtuse, but you'll see.
Ah, very good. You see, you caught me in the middle of doing something, actually.
Did I?
Yes.
That's a pity. What was it that you were doing?
I was going to... I reached into my jacket and using my fun little thing called Minor Conjuration, I'm going to conjure a letter. So I conjure it in my breast pocket and pull it out. So I was going to go deliver this to Queen Counterspell, but I guess that can wait. And I put it back in my pocket.
Interesting. Do you think that we are such fools that we did not search your pockets?
No, but I just thought it'd be something fun to try out.
Try, yes.
And who knows? Maybe I shunted it away somewhere.
Did
Bag
you
of holdings.
kill my fellows south of the Thrainwood?
Kill? No. Well, yes, enjoyed killing as well. Rather, actually took quite a bit of pleasure in it.
An interesting admission from one such as
trust
you.
me, if I got an opportunity at having a go at you, I would rather quite enjoy it as well.
I see. So I've made the best decision keeping you where you are in this cage, then.
That's a decision. Not sure if it's the best, but we'll soon find out.
We shall soon find out. Perhaps. In any case, Clareska is whom we are looking for, after all.
Ah.
You took a lot of money from us.
Yes, and I've spent it very well. I bought about 100, 200 golds worth of wine with it in one night, so I did quite a good job.
I would have given you that myself if I'd known.
Oh, really? Oh, that's rather generous of you. Yes, I'm not sure I'd accept much from a Barachiel wizard. Can't really trust them not to stab you in the back, but I accept the offer.
That is
thank the offer.
Unfair. The Barachiel envoy has operated for over 1,000 years without more than perhaps 24 backstabbings.
24 backstabbings. Well, maybe not the backstabbings, the mass amounts of genocide, perhaps. Maybe not.
Genocide is unfortunately a side effect of foul work from time to time.
Right. I'll keep that kind of mindset at the forefront of my brain if we ever start having a go at each other.
Yes, if we do. And
big if.
He touches the cage that you're in and casts heat metal. And at first it's quite good because it starts to give you some warmth. But then it becomes unbearably hot.
Right.
And you can make a dexterity saving throw.
Not unless I cast Counterspell.
Do you need material components for counterspell?
No, I don't. It's just a reaction.
It's just a reaction. Well,
Yeah.
I suppose you could do a counterspell if you're that clever. Go on then.
Just, I do it. I know he doesn't know what's going to happen, so he just does it as a kind of like a... As he starts touching it, I just kind of touch it back and go, I've already warmed up my boots, thank you very much. But again, I thank you for the offer, but I can't trust a Barachiel not to stab me in the back.
I should like to give you some inspiration, but you know what I'm not going to? I'm going to make one of these peasants on the viewy thing over here do it.
Wouldn't have it any other way, good sir.
One of these audience members has got nothing better to do than to sit around watching streams on Friday night. Eh?
Can I give him inspiration?
You can give him inspiration for sure. All right. So that's basically the course of your conversation, then, it seems.
Yes. One other thing. Do I notice if Tup is circling or about? If he's kind of doing it'll just be keeping an eye out to see if he's popping up here or there. Every so often trying to zoom into him just to see if he's about, and if he's not, he'll just keep...
You're finding a null negative space return from that query.
Right. Gotcha.
All right.
Okay.
Meanwhile,
Edryn's just going to write it out. Otherwise, he's just going to close his eyes and just kind of write it out.
right. So Nyla, while that's all going on, what are you actually doing? You're just scouting at the front, right?
At the front, I'm searching for... I am looking for my friends, but I'm also looking for other dangers that could be there. Things that I could be like, hey, look over there!
Right.
In the opposite direction. Just doing my job, but also not doing it well enough for them to... Like, if I see my friends, like, oh, okay, that's where the ambush is, we'll go that way.
Right, right. No, that makes sense. Okay, so did I get you to make a perception check already?
You did! 21 was that roll.
21. All right, so with 21, you start coming around this wide berth of trees. On the trail starts leading around to the right, around this hill. And it opens up out in front of you, and there you can now see the sprawling wall that cuts across the entire view from the east to the west. And it cuts into this mountain, and then it starts going up the mountain on the right-hand side. It's massive. It is a huge, colossal structure. I cannot put enough emphasis on the fact that it is big. And it has directly in front of you this somewhat large gap, maybe 50, 60 feet wide across at the base, a little narrower at the top, this hole that penetrates through it. You get the impression that the wall's width itself must be about 50 feet. So it's pretty deep and pretty high. And it's very old, and you automatically realize that this is a wall built by the late Ostorian Empire, the Giants, during the First Age. It is now the Third Age. So, there you go. Hey, Charlie is here.
It looks like a good place for an ambush, so I will lead the party towards the wall.
Right. Lead the party towards the wall. All right, very good. So,
do I spot any of my mates sitting on the wall, or do I just see the wall?
You were looking out for an ambush, so it makes sense that you would at least get a chance to see them. So you can make an investigation check this time.
Investigation?
Yeah.
You just don't want me to have my bonuses for perception.
Well, it's not exactly perception. Perception is passive, and
True.
Investigation is when you're really looking for something.
13.
13. I think that they are probably better at hiding than that.
Very good.
So I am going to get them to make stealth checks, though. But they're going to get advantage because they've had time to actually plan their sneaky places and check them out with each other and help each other with that. So,
Is this a different stealth check to the one we made before?
did you give me?
We've kind of just made.
You just made a stealth check.
I made a
You made
19.
a 19. Okay.
Or do we? Or
No,
was that a
that's-
different situation?
That is fine for me.
Yeah.
I'm
I
happy
would
to
say
use that.
it beats my investigation check.
Right, but I need one from Adrik and Dala.
Russell,
Dala?
so I have disadvantage on stealth checks, but I'm not because of my armor. But I'm not moving, and I'm staying low from this high vantage point. So do I just have advantage, or is it just flat roll?
I think you still get advantage because you get help in this case.
Okie dokie.
Yeah.
Thank you kindly.
I think that Dala's super shiny armor must have glinted in the sunlight.
Oh no.
Got a 12
And Goodale, was that
with advantage. God.
You got a 6!
Crap.
Goodale, you didn't roll with advantage though, or did you?
Yes, you did.
You did.
Yep.
Why didn't I say that?
She got a 2 and a 5.
This is when we say she didn't. She didn't. She
I
didn't.
see that now.
is where
Okay,
you
so
lie.
that's a spanner in the works. All right, well, very good. At that point, Nyla, you see Goodale glinting from the top of the ball. You think it's Goodale?
Sorry, Joe. I shouldn't have admitted that.
At that point, Nyla, Goodale, you need to make a perception check as well, a new one.
Okay. Perception. 14.
14. Okay. You definitely notice Nyla's figure. Whether or not you recognize her, I don't know if you discussed what you'd be wearing or not. So she might not recognize who it is because she's hooded, if I'm not wrong.
I'm hooded and I've changed seasons, so my hair is currently white.
Right, so you might be surprised to see who Nyla is. You probably don't know who she is immediately. But in any case, she's looking at you.
Someone spotted me, I think. She looked right at me.
Nyla, do you do anything? Do you just turn around and ignore that you saw her, or do you?
I just keep walking and
You're
pretend I didn't see her.
Get down, bro.
Get down, you're in the way.
Yeah.
Ella, have you done your sending yet?
No, I haven't. Shall I ask them? What shall I say?
How long can the message be?
It's 25 words. Fairly short.
Okay. Watch the walls. Get Barachiel in crevasse.
Right. Okay. Since I think that maybe Nyla, I'll try to target her. Watch walls. Get Barachiel in crevasse. Separate from allies. I hope she understands that.
It seems pretty clear to me.
Okay.
If that was you on the wall, I saw you. Don't worry, I'm coming.
Welcome, New Zealand waffles.
It's a fantastic
Edryn
name.
in cage. Ren in with Balkinard. 5 baddies.
Steve,
Yes.
Leith, can you make a wisdom saving throw, please?
Ooh, that's a saving throw. That's not good.
I relay the message about Nyla's message to the boys.
But it is a good roll.
Oh, thank you.
What did you roll?
22.
22. Unfortunately, my dice log images are not coming up tonight. I don't know why, so we're going to ignore that. 22. All right. You feel a shiver go up your spine, Leith. Just a shiver. You can have one question.
How far ahead of the
from where you are they?
No. I'm talking. We can see the the caravan of people coming.
Yep.
How far ahead is Nyla?
Nyla, how far ahead are you?
Enough that I wouldn't be heard replying to the message.
Couple of hundred feet.
Couple of 100 feet. If you're
Okay.
scouting, you're scouting. You sort of like scout out, and then you return back, and then you scout out. And
So I'm going to change my my trigger for my wall of force to when she's completely the other side of the wall.
All right. You can.
And I'm going to.
Yep.
And I'm going to cast it on the. How thick is the wall?
How thick is the wall? 50 feet
Yeah.
thick.
50 feet thick. Yeah. So I'm going to cast it at the the wagon is within the 50 feet and cast it on the far end that they're going towards.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So it's going to be as they go through it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Would just like to point out that last session we did tell Balkinard that he needs to be at the back. just reiterating that. We did tell him last week. We told him, hey, it might be best to be at the back of the convoy. Just so you know, Russell.
Oh no, that's awesome. I appreciate that. And I'm just allowing other people to say something over that if they want to. If anyone needs to add any details to that.
So
right.
The sort of battle formation for this convoy would probably be me at the front, then it would be the mercenaries, then it would probably be Edryn and the wizards, then it would be Balkinard's knights and Ren.
Well, I'm going to just tweak it a little bit, and that is that the mercenaries stay with the wizards.
Okay. The mercenary, it was like mercenaries and wizards and the cage, and then Balkinard after them.
Right.
So.
Okay, so Edryn, you're in this cage wheeling towards this cleft in this wall. And there's the other wizard steps up on the other side of the cage now. And they're just walking casually next to you, just keeping up with the speed of the cage. And one of the wizards turns to you, Edryn, and he says, this would be an excellent place for an ambush, wouldn't it?
Sure, why not? I'm not exactly the tactician of my family.
But so brave. So brave.
I think that might be giving me a little bit too much credit. Wrong place, wrong time, I like to think about it.
He looks up ahead and examines the wall and looks further up, and Lord Balkinard brings his horse up next to the wizard, and he says, is there a problem, my liege? And the wizard looks up. He says, I consider this might be a point of contact. Perhaps. Send some of your knights through that gap, Balkinard. I want to see what happens. And so Balkinard calls over two of his knights, and two of his knights come riding towards the wall. After a few seconds, better part of a minute goes by, the knights arrive at the gap. I assume you guys don't do anything.
Still gonna hold.
Yeah, I'm waiting for. I'm there behind the boulders, and I'm waiting for someone's go ahead because I can't see what I'm doing.
All right.
I can see, but I'm not going to cast the Wall of Force just yet.
The knights don't seem to make a lot of effort to look around while they're up here. Maybe it's because their armour is so restrictive anyway, so they might just not be looking for things, but they don't know.
Are they beyond the other side of the wall?
They pop to the other side of the wall, they stop, they make a quick look around, they see there's nobody there, and they head back through the wall.
Is Nyla there as well? Oh, okay.
No, they've gone past Nyla's place.
Okay,
position.
no, I'll hold. I'll hold.
All right. So you hold, and they ride back again. Back to the others. And Balkinard, yes, Dala.
Balkinard's men are friendlies, right? We don't want to hit them, right?
You can assume that's true. Probably. True.
Probably.
You never know. You know, fog of war and all of that sort of
Why
thing.
would you do this, Russell? Why would you put these doubts in my brain?
I would do that.
We don't know.
Okay, so the convoy begins to approach. They narrow down that gap to about 100 feet. Is there any change in anybody's positions or...
No, once Nyla is the other side of the wall, I'll cast it on the 50-foot edge.
Okay,
at
so
the
you
other
want to
end.
hold them on the original side of the wall.
No, on the far side, so that they're cut off into the gap.
Okay, so they go through the wall and out the other
Yep.
side?
No, they
No,
won't get
just-
out the other side
I see.
because the wall of force will be across the other side of the wall.
Right, so it's
Pretty
just
much
gonna
it's like a sliding door. As soon as I go through, it goes.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm just trying to figure out which end of that gap the door is at.
Yeah.
That was my issue. Okay, cool. All right, so they're approaching. They're at 100 feet, 90 feet, 80 feet. Edryn's kind of in the middle of this group. The wizards are standing next to him. Lord Balkinard is with them, and he begins to drop back. And neither of the wizards seem to notice that.
Do I notice that?
You want to make a perception check?
Wow.
Tension.
Anyone else feeling just like
21.
Perception
21.
for Edryn. Yeah, you notice that Lord Balkinard has dropped back.
Two questions. Numero uno. How close to the cage are the other of the two
wizards?
Barachiel wizards?
Oh, they are less than 10 feet from the cage.
Okay. And second question, are there any... Oh, what are they called? Kind of edges. Are there any are there any shelves? Like the odd shelving to the crevasse we're going into? Is it just like a straight thing?
Right,
or is
yes,
it
there
shelved
is.
a little bit?
There are a couple of little places on the way up that is true. Also, Edryn, I want to just make a point of doing an Arcana check right now as well.
Sure, can do.
Because the cage itself, you notice
12.
Close examination, you haven't really paid too much attention to this, but you notice that there are some arcane symbols drawn upon the cage itself in places, namely about the floor, in the corners, and in the ceiling in the corners.
Okay.
They look like
very good.
They look like wards to you.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, very good. So, Leith, we know what you're doing. Adrik, what are you doing?
I'm there with my crowbar and I'm waiting for somebody's call, just because I'm where I've situated the boulders. I can't see very well on either side or below me, so I'm waiting for our trigger before I do the thing.
Right, that's fair.
So very, very patiently waiting, and I think he's probably fall into like a bit of a meditative state while he's doing it.
All right. He doesn't start singing lullabies to himself, does he?
Maybe a little bit of a throaty hum.
Okay.
Very low, quiet hum.
Leith.
Can I roll us back slightly and suggest that Leith has said that he will give an owl hoot when he's cast the Wall of Force, because it probably won't be able to be seen.
Have you ever cast a Wall of Force before?
No.
Okay. So I guess we'll all find out whether or not it can be seen.
Does say invisible on the spell.
Does? Okay, cool. That's good.
Yeah.
Yep, it says invisible.
That's what I wanted to discover.
Yep.
Okay, cool bananas.
All
All
right.
right, so that's Adrik. Goodale, what are you doing?
Waiting quietly, watching Adrik and Leith.
What is in your hands?
I have my longbow.
Okay, so you've got an arrow knocked at this point.
Yes, and I'm trying desperately to stay low and out of sight since I got that warning from Nyla that she's.
Right. Do you have a target in mind?
I think Dal's probably thinking more about buffing people and keeping them alive rather than specific targets.
Right, fair enough. Okay, that makes sense. And Ren, what are you doing?
I'm going in.
You're going in. Okay, so when you say you're going in, you're with the group coming along on the pathway.
Yeah.
Okay. And
Yes.
are you with the knights, with the wizards? Are you near Edryn at all,
I'm
or are you just
near the wizards.
near the wizards? All right, very good. Okie dokie. Well, they pass into the passageway. Finally, they step into the shadows between the edges of the wall, the sides of the wall, and into that dark space, and they begin to walk down through that 50-odd meters, or 50-odd feet, should I say, through there, which is not going to take them very long. The wheel of Edryn's cage rattles over some loose stones there.
Make sure Nyla is through.
I would have resumed my place at the front. So I
Right.
would
Yep.
go for it.
Nyla goes through and
Cast the Wall of Force.
wall of force, boof, and you're trying to you want that directly in front of
The rest of the
Everybody
the rest of
else.
the wagon. Yeah.
Okay, so that will include Edryn, that includes all of the knights, all of the wizards, all of the mercenaries. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Well, cool. Nyla, does anybody else have an action that they're holding?
Just my boulders for when I get Steve's call.
All right. Does Steve give the call?
And Leith casts it and then goes, whoo, whoo.
Adrik enlarges, jams his crowbar in there, and forces the boulders down.
All right. You're making an athletics check.
Yes, I am, and that's at advantage because I'm the big, huge, large man. Come on, thing,
Yeah,
do the
the
thing.
big, huge, large man.
Oh, come on, do the thing. That is a 17.
A 17. Alrighty. Well, the boulders go falling, and how much damage did I tell you that they're going to do?
10d10.
10d10
Sorry,
damage.
I'm just trying to get my dice to do the thing. Okay, good. That's it. All right, so I'm just rolling it up now, and 10d10.
So my question for you now is, how do you determine who the boulders are going to land on?
This is the medieval equivalent of a shotgun. If they're in the way, they're in the way.
Right.
I have no way of controlling this at this stage, unfortunately. That's 66 damage.
66 damage.
I think it's with loud crunch and then. So they have about 350 falling feet of warning. And just changing music now.
They at least get a saving throw or take half damage, I feel.
Yeah, that sounds fair to me.
Am I in the splash zone or am I fine?
You're fine.
Cool.
You're fine. Oh, so much damage to take care of. How much damage did he do in total?
66.
66. Bloomin' heck.
Wow.
Okay.
Oh, the tensest music you could possibly choose, Michael.
It's literally called Avalanche.
Aptly named.
All right, so here's a result of what you've just done. One knight is very injured. Another knight is very injured. One of the wizards is almost dead. He is crushed beneath the boulders and is trying to claw his way out. But he doesn't seem to be able to get it together to cast any spells right now. Another knight is dead. Lord Balkinard is severely injured. And another knight is dead.
Even though Balkinard was right at the back.
Well, there was a bunch of shit that fell down the hole.
True.
What about the other wizard? Because there's 2 wizards, right?
Oh, the other one's fine. Edryn, you probably should make a saving throw.
Yeah, does the cage do anything?
Yes, it will.
It's like a roofing. What am I making? A dex?
Dex save, yeah.
I'm great at those. So I got a 19 plus 1 for a total of 20.
20, okay. Well, you take no damage from falling objects.
Oh. I just want there to be a giant as it caves in slightly, and it just goes right to my nose. And I'm like, I'm okay.
Okay, and so at this point, Nyla, it's actually your turn because you weren't holding any actions, right?
I was not.
Okay, so what do? You're through, but there's a wall of force between you and anybody. What you can do is make a perception check.
25.
25. Nyla, you hear something rumbling in the ground. And in the distance, you notice that the trees are just beginning to tremble. And the snow is beginning to fall off the branches in the distance. Okay, but that's what you're doing right now.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
The wall of force.
Yeah.
So all the boulders came down.
Yeah.
So the wall of force was like a barrier.
Held them all there.
Like all the bricks just held against this glass wall.
Yeah, exactly like that.
So I probably can't see anything behind me, can I?
Probably have no idea what's going on over that side of the wall. That's true. Yep.
I'm gonna move.
The nature of the wall of force means they may have actually, like the speed that they were going, they might have rolled, like bounced off it.
Right. Right. Okay.
Just a suggestion there.
Yep.
Ricochet. You take your aim.
In any
We're
case,
all dead. And Nyla's just gonna move. She's gonna get off the horse, send the horse off in a direction, and she's gonna start climbing up the wall.
okay. So you send the horse off in what direction?
I'll take the horse and lead it over to like away from where the wall is,
Like a
and
tree
then
or
I will
something?
get to a tree, and then I'm just gonna climb up the wall.
Okay, that's going to take quite a while. All of that.
Okay, well then, can I take the horse to where I'm like just movement to the wall, and then get off that and go up?
You can take the horse to the wall and get onto the wall and start climbing.
Yeah, and that's like a dash movement
Yeah,
because I'm not really doing anything else.
yeah, that's fair. All right, so now you're climbing the wall. That's going to be your next turn. It's going to be some climbing checks. Okay, cool. Edryn, it's your actual turn now.
The wizard that is being crushed, does he have a key about him?
Does he have a key about him?
Is it on his person, or has he dropped it?
You don't know. You have no idea. You can make an investigation check.
Right. Would that be my action, or just like a thing?
No, that's just a thing.
All right. I'm a clever cookie at this. 14.
14. He's got some sort of necklace, but you can't see what's on the end of it.
Edryn is gonna chance it. He's gonna cast Mage Hand. And the Mage Hand is gonna go out, grab the necklace, and just yank it off. It can
Yank about 10
Cool.
pounds.
10 pounds, yeah.
How
much is 10 pounds?
Well,
What's
a
that in
pound. Think of a
kilos?
pound of butter. You know,
Oh, that's pretty.
it's quite a lot. It's quite a lot of butter.
Butter ain't light.
You know, if you dropped that on someone's head and it was made of metal, it would probably hurt.
Yeah.
You can
I'm
rip
gonna.
someone's ear off.
Yeah.
You only need 5 pounds for that.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Michael's worried.
I want to know why you know that. But
So, what action are you taking?
I'm taking a mage hand
Mage hand.
action
Okay.
to
To pull the
try pull whatever necklace that is off
pull
of
the necklace.
the
Off.
struggling wizard.
All right. You can make a sleight of hand check.
Let me make sure. Yep, I can definitely do that. I was just double checking whether it needed material components.
That is a 15.
15. All right. You managed to get the necklace off the wizard in his struggles and cries and pain. It seems to be some sort of arcane focus of some description. It has an eye and a circle in the center of it, and it's a little bit like the Dungeon Studios logo, in fact. A little bit like that.
It is his
Very
focus.
good.
Does that mean he can't cast spells anymore?
Could do.
Can't cast material component spells.
Right.
So things like mage armor, he's fucked. Unlike me. That is going to be the end of my turn because I don't believe. Oh no, because of the wards.
That's the only thing, is the potential wards. So that looks like that is the end of my turn. Thank you very much.
All right. Leith Mistralath.
How far am I from the Barachiel wizards that are there?
200 feet.
200 feet?
Actually, probably less than that now because they're below you. How high up the wall are you? Because you said you wanted to be on a platform.
Yeah, I'm about 100 feet.
Okay, well then you're about 100 feet.
Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to get the wall of force at ground level. So,
Right.
100 feet, and they're 100 feet from me?
Yep.
Is that what you're saying?
Yep, because they're right below you.
I will Eldritch Blast, aiming it at the two Barachiel wizards.
All right, roll to hit.
So the first one is a dirty 20,
That hits.
and the second one is an 8.
An 8. Okay, well the 8 obviously is not going to hit anything, but the first one certainly hits one of
First
the
one-
wizards directly. Would you like the injured wizard or the fresh wizard? A brand new wizard, just for your convenience.
You roll a d4 and tell me which one I hit.
A D4, or would you rather a D2?
Oh, a d2 if you've got one, but a d1 and 2 is the first wizard, 3 and 4 is the second wizard.
Right.
I like
first
to
wizard-
keep things random myself.
First wizard, it is
6 points of damage.
6 points of damage. Okay. That wizard looks like he's on the edge of consciousness. Like right on the edge of consciousness. Okay, so is that the end of your turn, Leith?
I have bonus actions. Just let me check my bonus actions.
Any hexes or...
I'm not putting Hex up with that wall of force in place.
Right, because it is a concentration spell.
Yes, it is. Is there anybody hurt within 60 feet of me
Anybody within 60 feet of you
that is hurt?
that is hurt? Like, yes. No, wait, 100 feet, because you're up
Yeah,
100 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, so no, the answer is no.
So
It's a cold no.
I'll stay where I am for now and try and keep as low as possible, like hidden.
Okay. All right. So you're just going to make a stealth check then.
Oh, my Mask of the Wild as well comes into effect.
Okay,
That's why I have advantage on
Gives you
my.
advantage for your
I
stealth.
always have stealth advantage on stealth because of that. Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Okay, nice. So good stealth. Nice. Anything else you have to do or want to do on this turn?
No, that's all good.
Excellent. Adrik Fogdar.
Okay, so I'm fairly useless 350 feet up in the sky right now. So would it be faster for me to try and scale my way down the wall, one of the ways we've gone up, or would it be faster for me to grab Dala and then jump off and use Featherfall?
Featherfall would be the fastest way.
Okay. After he's done the thing, he's going to turn around. All right, Dala. Not asking for permission. You're coming with me. And he's going to King Kong grab her, and he's going to leap over the side.
Okay.
And when he judges himself to be about maybe halfway down, he's going to cast Featherfall.
All right. Dala, you need to make a wisdom saving throw.
Do you trust me?
That is a 21.
21. Okay. Well, you do trust Adrik enough to let him do this, and you've also seen him Featherfall once before. So
Yeah.
right. So you don't freak out. You don't punch him in the nose. You don't do anything adversely affecting this action, and thus you Featherfall to the ground quietly and with the little modicum of control. So you can kind of say within a 10-foot space where you want to land.
I kind of want to land. So if the Barachiel are in the middle between the crevasses, right?
Yep.
I want to leap over the side to where they were approaching, so we're closer to Balkinard and the Knights.
Right, but you want to, and that also will be cutting them off from the rear.
Yes. So just pincer them between us and that wall.
Okay, so this is what you do. You pop down behind them, you land there. Now, because of this, what is the turn order for Goodale? Yep, she's coming up very shortly. Okay, cool.
So the Featherfall was my reaction. Would you consider the grabbing Dala and the jumping to be my action?
I would do that, yes.
Okay, cool. And I'll use my bonus action to cast, to use my Frost Rune, which just gives me a bonus to Strength and Constitution checks.
Okay, cool.
And that is me.
Excellent, that's you. Adrik is done. All right, at that point, the wizard who has currently not taken any damage launches a fireball up the chasm above him.
Counterspell.
Starts to explode. So, Mad Miss
Yeah,
Charlie,
Max.
who's watching this right now, or anybody for that matter, if you can find our Discord, which we can post to you if we need to, there is a channel on our Discord where you can listen directly into the music that we're playing, if you're interested. Anyway, just...
Shall we post that in the chat so we can get
Yeah,
the link up?
if you can do.
In a memento, I'll do that now.
If anyone can do
Cool.
that would be cool. Come join our Discord channel and talk shit with us during the week as well.
It's great.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm never there.
Wait, you can do that?
What?
That's awesome. I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, that's a thing.
It's a thing? What? I'm going to open my Discord now so I can hear it. Hopefully through my headphones and not through my speakers. Let's turn those off. All right. Whose turn is it, Russell?
Okay, so you guys are, everybody who is above the wizard is making a saving throw. But
I thought
Edryn was casting
Counterspell.
Counterspell. Now,
Yes.
Counterspell, is there a check for that?
So if it's third level or lower, it's automatically
Right.
fails, as in the spell automatically dispels. If it's fourth level or higher, I have to roll for it.
Right, it's a third level spell.
So it automatically dispels.
Automatically dispels. The wizard looks down at his hands and looks at his glove, and he looks across at you, Edryn, and he turns and he says, "Now you will pay for that." Now, did you...
I do a little retort as well.
Yes.
I had something for this. When he says that, I say, just like for you with genocide, that's a side effect of having me in this sort of position.
You enjoy that position, he says, and you'll enjoy it more before the day is out. All right. At that point...
It's shit, Edryn.
Right, well, the knights are wheeling around on their horses trying to figure out what to do. I'm assuming Ren's kind of among them. But before it's Ren's turn, it's actually Goodale's turn. Sorry it's taking so long to get to you, Ren. I think I might have even missed a turn at some point. You were very nice and didn't say a word. I appreciate that. But Goodale, you're first.
I would like to cast Healing Word on Lord Balkinard.
Okay,
The bonus action.
very good.
And
Give us your healing wording. So 2, you healed him by 2 hit points. Is that right?
Should be plus my modifier, I would have thought.
I would assume so.
Yeah, it's a 7.
7. Okay. And also because you're like a cleric of heals, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
One of them fancy healing clerics that does all the fancy healing business with their extra heals on their heals. It's like they have muscles on their muscles, but they're healing muscles. All right, enough about that.
And if I could I Sacred Flame the
You
two
can.
wizards? Well, one, I guess one of them.
You cast your action was a spell though, wasn't it?
That was a bonus action.
That was a
Is that-
bonus action. Okay.
Now-
I think it's the one thing you can't do is cast 2 different spells on the same turn.
Right.
So
You can if it's a cantrip, though. I
can
think.
if it's a cantrip.
Yeah, because cantrips are kind of like hit or miss. They either deal damage or not, whereas most spells are like, if you hit, you still get to do something cool.
Still does some damage, right? That's true.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll let you have it then, Good Dale.
I can go after them with my longbow if you'd prefer.
I don't care.
You don't care? Alright, oh, Sacred Flame it is.
Sacred Flame it is. Okay, and this is on the mage wizard.
Yes.
Do you want to go for the one that's very hurt or the one that's not very hurt?
I'll go for the very hurt one.
All right. Well, he has disadvantage. He rolls a 1, so you do critical damage. He also happens to have 1 hit point. So, what did you just destroy him with the Sacred Flame? It just drops on him and he dies. He looks quite beautiful and peaceful there in his robes laying out splayed across the white dust and stone at the base of this huge wall. There's this moment of picturesque, almost holiness about it. Is that the end of your turn, Joanna?
Yes, it is.
Well then, Ren, it's your turn.
Okay. Where am I? In the world?
Well, at this point, how I've in my head, I pictured
Because I
that
got
you-
close to the wizards.
Right, you were close with the wizard, so you were in there with them. You did make your saving throw, however, so you didn't take any damage from any falling rocks. But you are here with the wizards and Lord Balkinard and his knights. Some of his knights are dead. All of them took massive damage. 2 of them are dead. And how many are alive? 1, 2 are alive. Yeah.
What? What about the mercenaries? Are they dead?
The mercenaries?
You said that only 2 of the knights were injured. I'm very concerned now.
No, 2 of the knights are injured, 2 of them are dead.
Oh, okay. Well, didn't know about the dead ones.
So I can't bring them back to life now.
Not to life. You could
No.
you could help the injured ones, but they're quite injured, and I don't know if you have enough hit points worth of healing to do much about it. It's up to you.
Okay.
You can try if you want to, but
How close am I to the master wizard?
at this point, I should say that you're as close as you want to be because you know exactly what you're doing.
Yeah. Alright. I'm gonna take his head off.
Okay.
Hunters mark him and take his head off.
Okay, so Hunter's Mark, and then a quick, quiet attack that you've taken a moment to really think about. Set
Yeah.
your feet and you've set your grip, and
Yeah.
then you just turn and attack at his head. So
Yeah.
with advantage, roll to hit. Please. Ren. Oh wow, T. Earl Grey Hot is here. Yay! That always excites me. I'm waiting for a roll from Barry to Hira. I see the roll has begun on D&D Beyond. It is a 27. It was an unarmed strike, but you know what? I don't care because
Wild.
you rolled a 20 with advantage and it was a natural 20, and that's a Vorpal sword you're using right there. So do you know what that means?
Oh, that's a clean cut.
So your wizard friend drops to the ground, poof, and you take his head in one strike. Just like that. Amidst the chaos, Ren just staggeringly murders this wizard and the other one is dead too. So that's the two wizards down. Nyla, you're climbing
Yes.
the wall on the other side, right?
Correct.
You're making an acrobatics check or an athletics check, whichever suits your purposes.
They are both the same. I will do athletics,
Mm-hmm.
and I will give myself guidance.
All right.
14 plus 2.
14 plus 2.
Hold on. It's 17 plus 2 for
Right.
19.
It's for a 19 for your athletics. Okay, so you're
Yes.
scaling the wall pretty rapidly. Now you can make a perception check. While you're making that perception check, I owe Barry the rest of his turn, I realize, because you have a couple of other attacks and things if you want them, Barry. That was just your first attack.
22.
22 for your perception. Hold that thought. Sorry, Barry, no sound yet. Nope. Come on, computers.
Yeah, my computer.
There you
needs-
go. That's it.
Right. Now, what else can I see that is a possible threat to the whole idea?
Right. Well, you've got the two wizards are down. There's 3 mercenaries who are kind of looking around. They represent the wizards' interests too.
Yep.
But you have an option between taking them alive and just killing them.
I'll go for there's 3 of them, so I'll try and kill 2 of them and keep 1 spare.
Okay, that's practical. All right, so you're going to roll to hit the next one then.
Yeah,
All right, do you want to make that roll?
yeah, I'm making it.
All right, make sure you hit your sword and not your unarmed strike.
19.
19 with your longsword. Okay.
Yep.
Very good. That's a hit.
Okay, here we
Roll your
go.
damage.
8.
8 damage. Okay, you do some damage.
Okay.
He's hurt. You hurt the mercenary. He's turned to you. Keep that combat in your head. Nyla,
Yep.
you're halfway up the wall. You made a perception check. The perception check was a total of
22.
22. You feel this chill wind at your back rising up the wall behind you.
Can I can't see anything. I just feel the.
Yeah. Do you look over your shoulder or anything? Or
Yeah, I look behind me.
this huge draconic form is rising from the trees in the distance, and it's casting its shadow across you right now. It appears to be a large white dragon.
And it can definitely see us, can't it?
It's looking at you. Well,
I'm
the thing is, it can see you on the wall. What's going on in the crevasse down in the hole in the middle of the wall is a different question because of angles and walls of force and a bunch of rocks in there.
That's fine. That's fine. It's the dragon!
You fear that your voice will not be heard from where you are. You can make a performance check if you want to try.
Yeah. Oh God.
15. Yeah. Nah. Don't think so. Okay. That's the end of your turn, I think. Is there anything else you want to do on this turn besides climbing up the wall?
So I'm climbing up a wall. I turn behind me, see a dragon, scream.
Yep.
Look up. How far am I from the top?
You're about a third of the way.
How many feet is that?
You're 100 feet up.
From the top? No,
You're
how far
200
from the...
feet from the top.
Shit! Okay. Ah! I can't do anything. That's fine.
It's a big
That was
wall.
my turn. Was screaming dragon, and hoping someone would hear me. Can I
Right.
use guidance to give me
Give
extra
yourself-
points?
You can try that. And everybody else
myself
can
an
make perception checks. If anyone gets above her guided
Oh,
performance
that's a
check.
19 now. It's now a 19.
Okay. Let's see what the
18 for me.
18, yeah, that's probably enough to hear something.
Got a critical 9.
Edryn, that wouldn't make any sense anyway where he is. Anybody on the ground is not going to be able to hear anything. And that's now Adrik and Dala as well. So, Leith, you really are the only person who might have heard a thing, and you rolled, what, an 18?
Yeah.
So that's pretty good. So, yeah, okay, Leith, you think you heard Nyla's voice call out something about a dragon?
I'll look down and see what she's doing.
Yeah, well, the problem is you can't, because you're on a platform halfway down the crevasse in the center.
Right, okay.
100 feet, and she's on the outside of the wall, climbing up from the eastern side.
Okay, I'll hold levitate until the end of my turn then. Until my turn.
Okay. All right, so that's what you're wanting to do next. All right.
Yep.
Very good. Edryn, it's your turn.
Edryn, having eyed down this wizard and then watched his head just go thump,
Yep.
Edryn just kind of shrugs, goes, well, that was a lot easier than I expected. And I'm going to see if on him there is a key about his person.
Ah, okay. Investigation
Actually,
check. Yep.
Actually, yeah, I might as well. 24.
You find a key, and it looks like it might just be the right key.
I'm going to take a page out of last turn's book, and I'm going to do another mage hand to just kind of
All right, we'll have another
pull it over.
Sleight of hand to get it off him.
Sleight of hand. Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. All right, you get it easily.
All right, and then obviously that'll be my next turn to unlock myself, probably, right?
Yep.
Awesome. And that was an action. That is the end of my turn. I think the only thing is Edryn would hit the ground because any form of ranged attack would have disadvantage on him if he's prone, right?
That's correct.
So he just kind of crouches down, trying to make himself as small a target as possible.
Right. Slow silhouette. Okay, very good. Then, Leith, it is your turn. Leithoir of the Mistralath.
Of the unmuting. I'm going to cast levitate on myself from the staff.
Right.
And I'm going to push myself off the wall to Nyla's side and float down to her.
Okay, so you're going to have to go all the way up the wall, 200 feet.
Huh?
You've got to get past the wall of force. How high is the wall of force?
No. The levitate's a concentration spell, so it releases the wall of force.
Okay, cool. Okay, so the wall of force collapses at that point, and a lot of stones suddenly hit the floor again. Adrik, Dala, and Ren, you're going to make saving throws, and Edryn.
Oh shit!
Dex saving throws.
I'm still in the cage, so hopefully that helps.
15. Dala and I were on the other side of the wall, close to Balkinard. The wall of force was on the exit side.
That's right.
Okay. So
Pretty
dex
much
saving throws.
the rocks against the walls come down, so it's like doing this.
Yeah.
Right, I see.
It's just creating scree along the floor mostly.
Yeah.
Oh right, yeah.
Elle's not stealthy, but she's dexterous.
She's dexterous.
13.
13. Okay. 13 is good. I'm looking at these. Did anyone get below about a 12?
I got a 12.
That's fine. Okay, cool. All right, nobody takes any damage.
Huzzah!
Excellent. So the wall of force drops. You are using levitate, but you can't go around the wall. You can only go up the wall. Is that right?
Can I push myself out from the wall and float down?
And float down to the floor?
Yeah.
Easily.
Yep, that's what I want to do. I want to get to Nyla.
Right.
So push myself away from the wall on the exit side.
The problem that I'm seeing is that you are inside this gap.
Oh, is the gap built inside the wall?
Well, the gap goes through the wall. You know, it's like there's a 50-foot
Right.
span of gap.
So I need to push myself out into the gap.
Well, the problem is that she is not in the gap. She's nowhere near the gap. She's away down the side.
No,
of the
she's
wall.
down. Yeah, she's down below. What the reason I'm levitating is to get myself down from the wall. So there must be a hole that I cast my wall of force out of, that I can push myself out of, right?
I'm really not sure how you push yourself out of something on a levitation spell. Like it's, if you jump into the air and then cast it, maybe there's something like that would work.
Well, just even I have to push myself to for myself to move with levitate. Otherwise, I just stay in midair.
I always assumed that you just stay in midair with levitate, other than rising.
It says in the spell that if you push yourself off something.
It's like being in space. You need a fire extinguisher and you need to push yourself up.
Right.
Yeah. So I just basically stand on the edge of the of whatever space that I was in, and jump off with the levitate cast on myself and push myself forward.
Okay.
Let myself fall whatever distance I need to.
Nyla is around the corner from you, though. You know that, right?
Well, I just need to get down to the floor.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the first thing I need to do.
All right, cool. All right, well, you can totally do that. You can get yourself down to the floor.
And wherever I stop at in midair, I'll just uncast the spell and let myself float to the ground.
All right, you touch down on the ground as you get there. Very good. Have you got anything else in your repertoire you want to throw around right now?
Is there anybody nearby who needs healing?
Sure. There's 2 knights. If you're talking about just Balkinard's side, two knights that are injured, 2 knights that are dead, and 2 dead wizards. You can see now clearly, and Lord Balkinard himself is quite injured.
I'll give a die of healing light.
Okay.
I can only use 3. So 3 dice of healing light. Do I know if healing spells personally are going to bring people back?
Bring them back?
Like, are they dead?
Okay, right. So as far as the knights are concerned, you don't know whether that's going to bring them back or not. You can make a medicine check to determine that.
16?
16. Okay, one of them you think it might be possible to bring back with some healing.
Okay, I'll cast 2d6 on him and 1d6 on one of the others.
All right.
That's still alive.
Okay, cool. Let's go.
So let me grab some d6s. So 5 points on the dead one.
All right.
And 6 points on the living but damaged one.
Okay. Cool bananas. They both thank you profusely, and they're looking around. Nyla, are you still screaming?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah. I'm just probably trying to get down now.
You're just going straight down?
Straight down as fast as I can,
Okay.
climbing. Actually, know what? I'm going to jump, and then when I'm 30 feet from the bottom, I'm a misty step to the bottom so that I don't get any fall damage,
Right,
and then I'm going to try and run to the other side.
We'll save this for your actual turn. I just wanted to check that you... Because calling out and talking is not an action, right? That's why I was just checking about that.
That's fair. That's fair.
So when we get back to my turn. Yeah, save that for your turn. Adrik, what are you doing?
All right, so I've left Dala to go and start healing and preparing all of that stuff. I think I missed it on Edryn's turn. Is he out of his cage yet?
Not yet.
Okay, can I see it?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to run on over to Edryn, and I'm going to, harkening back to like our second or third episode, I'm going to rip the door off of the cage.
Okay, so you and your giant form come pounding through this melee, pushing everyone aside. Get to the cage, rip the door off.
Rip that shit off.
That is an athletics check.
Yep, I'm going to do that. Okay, so that is a... That is a total of 25.
Woof, 25. You pull the door off the cage, no problem. You just rip it straight off. It goes tumbling away.
And ripping the door off... Oh, sorry, you go.
You probably need to make a dexterity saving throw.
Okay, I can do that, and then I'll do the thing after. Dexterity, please, don't fuck me. That is a 17. Nice.
17. You don't take any damage or any lightning damage from the magical trap.
It just courses through me and just shake that off.
Electricity kind of wraps around you in a few bands of power as it surges through and past you, and then it grounds itself.
With the door in my hand, is there any chance that I could fling it at one of the mercenaries?
Sure, it's an improvised weapon now. Roll to hit.
Yeah, so that's just a D4 damage, right?
I believe.
Okie dokie. Will I be adding my
modifier? Yeah.
Okay, brilliant. So I'll just roll the D20 and just add that manually. Yeah. Oof. The total of 11.
Okay. It goes flinging off, and you don't hit anybody, but it definitely makes an impression as it slams into the wall there and goes chunk. Big pieces of twisted steel sticking out of the edges of it where you ripped it off from the cage. So clearly it would have stuck right through someone if it had engaged them. Yeah.
Edryn, are you right?
Yes, that was a rather good marvel of strength, and Edryn just kind of puts the key away.
Good. All right, let's finish this up, shall we? And that's Adrik's turn.
All right, that's Adrik's turn. So some of the knights are shouting now, and this I better kill the wizard because he's dead. By the way, you've completely screwed up this encounter. I just want you to know you've completely screwed it up.
I was just thinking that. I was just like, oh god.
Really?
How? We told you this is what we were planning.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't exactly...
I think it was the nat 20 that beheaded an Abjurer that may have.
No.
No?
It was the fact that the rocks did so much damage to the convoy.
No, partly that too. It was mostly the fact that you... Well, I guess you'll find out.
Yeah, we're not done yet, so...
I guess you'll find out, yeah. So let's see where this goes. Goodale, it's your turn.
Dale's going to switch tacks a little bit. She's going to have her call up her spiritual weapon, but she's going to leave it ready, and she's just going to go around. Well, she can only cast one cantrip, but she's going to be using. I've lost. Spare the dying.
Spare the dying. Okay, so she's trying to save some lives. That's her.
Stabilize some of the knights who are down and any other allies.
All right.
And I'll
perception
check to see if if Dala noticed the light show from Adrik.
Right. You can make a perception check to notice that.
$11. Perhaps Dala was a bit busy.
11. Okay. Yeah, well, I think what distracts you is that approximately about that point, this huge white dragon lands in front of you all through the gap and flings aside some of the stone with its huge claws. It enters through the hole in between and kind of sizes you all up for a moment. What are you fighting for, mortals?
Just like to clarify, he went through the tunnel underneath me.
Tunnel? What tunnel?
Well, like the hole in the wall.
What? The hole goes all the way to the roof, all the way to the top of the wall. It's a gap.
Right. So I'm on one side.
Yep.
And it just went past me.
Did.
Cool.
It did. It went past you and went straight for the gap. Does anybody respond to the?
Are we still in combat order, or are we all good to...
Technically, but that you can. We'll take a break from combat order.
I could reply in Draconic.
All right. Go on.
We are simply traveling through this crevasse, mighty white dragon. These people ended up attacking us for no good possible reason. So it just simply...
Lies! You think you can lie to me? You're looking for Claraska, aren't you?
They were. That's more of a side quest for us, but yes. In a nutshell, it would be very nice.
How much will you pay for her?
What's the going rate?
How much do you have, human?
We have a lot of food for you, in terms of bodies.
He just rips down all the trash on the side of the wall that's there and slams it to the ground, and the dust comes up in a big puff.
That's what I make of your offer.
Or a ship full of gold.
Now we begin to negotiate.
I have a sizable stake in that boat, and I've already wasted my entire life in drinks, so I don't think it'd do me any good. So I could give you my ship worth of gold.
You are the thieves of Vaingate.
Yes.
Imagine my luck then to find you here.
Yes, we have spent quite a bit of it already, though.
Very well, I will keep one of you here. Perhaps you in that cage. But I have Claraska. You will come back. You will come back for her.
Most definitely. Is there any other way we can contact you, or is this the best sort of route?
I give you 30 days.
Okay. 30 days. You're very generous. Thank you.
Keeps looking at you all. This dragon shuffles back a little bit.
Leith is just completely rooted to the spot, like just staring at the dragon.
Mm-hmm.
It's taking exception to being called a thief.
Fair enough.
But I was trying to get off this fucking wall. And away.
Well, you can get to the ground now, Nyla, and you're running to the edge, but I mean,
there's a dragon in the way.
There's a freaking big dragon sitting
Yeah.
right there with his head inside the gap.
No, that's fine. I'm gonna run away.
Okay. You're going the other direction, north.
Well, is that gonna work?
Following the wall
Uh,
towards the trees.
my horse still there? Is it
Yep,
still alive?
Your horse is still alive.
I'll just get off the wall and sort of back away. I'm not gonna run away yet. And just listen, see how this conversation pans out.
Excuse me, my lord.
Now, bear in mind, everything that's happened so far has been in Draconic with Edryn.
Gadil has
I don't.
You're a dragon, and one would hope that you can understand what I'm saying.
He turns his head towards you and it slithers across the ground, casting a shadow down about 4 feet in front of him like a snake, winding its way across the surface in your direction. The head appears in front of you now, this huge white head, scales, teeth the size of swords.
My lord, as a thing of good faith, can you take one of us to the Queen so that we can see if she's in one piece? Please?
That is a fair request. Yes, I will do that. Who will volunteer?
Me, my lord.
Then drop your weapons at once.
I give them over to my sister.
We will have words about this later.
He says,
Yes, Mum.
The dragon swoops in and picks you up by your buckles and harness, and your armour, and lifts you up off the ground. And he says,
Are you ready, mortal? For flight?
I'm ready for anything you can give me, my lord.
Don't tempt me. Don't tempt me.
flies off with you on board. And you're dangling from its mouth. And he flies up past the top of the hill and beyond that and past another valley and keeps going quite fast at this point. It's fucking terrifying. You're like wisdom saving throw not to pee yourself, basically.
Oh no, let's just go straight to the peeing myself, shall we? Okay.
Go straight to the pee yourself.
Wisdom saving throw.
That's what I love about Barry's role playing. He always is prepared to get his hands dirty. So few players will do that.
19.
19. Wow. Okay. You does not faze you. Ren is completely at ease with this journey.
Mm-hmm.
The dragon lands you in this cave, high up in this mountain, and it must be 20 minutes later. I don't know what everyone else is doing. We'll establish that shortly. But you land in the cave and you hear this voice. Hello? Hello? Who's there?
It is your master and lord returned. But I have a visitor. Someone you have not met before.
And you come around the corner, still in the grip of the dragon's mouth, and the dragon tosses you across the floor of this ice cave, and you slide into the room, and you skid to a stop in the ice, and you look up, and you see Queen Claresca of Scatterbell locked in a metal cage, not unlike the one that Edryn was in, actually, but a different model, a slightly different make and model, possibly a lot older. She looks down at you from where she's perched, high up. She says, "Who are you?"
My name is Nyla and Ren, Talandaran, Your Majesty.
I do not know you. You must get me out of here at once. At once. You've come to get me out, right? You must have. You look like a knight, surely.
We're working on it.
We are working on it? What do you mean working on it? What are you doing here?
I am making sure that you're living proof that you are alive before we pay your ransom.
The dragon's head comes out from around the corner and sort of comes in and looks at you. And he comes out in between you and Claresca.
Satisfied, mortal?
I am, my lord.
Excellent. Excellent. Now we can talk about the price.
My lord?
Yes.
What is the price?
I've heard about the treasure ship.
Not enough gold for you, my lord.
Oh, I believe there is. Those Annam strikes will do me good. Those giant coins the size of wagon wheels encrusted with jewels from the giant times. Yes, I should like to have one of those in my possession. I should like to have 100. How low does your boat ride on the water?
Low, my lord.
I imagine.
100 of them.
You bring me a treasure worthy of a queen, and I will give you her life.
All right, my lord.
You have my word.
My lord? You realize I have to discuss this with those I work for.
Who do you work for? A paladin?
Oh. A prince?
A prince?
Well,
A prince?
a future
What
prince.
prince is this that you speak?
It depends. Do you favor the king of the elves at this time?
I do not give heed to the king of the elves at this time. He is not my concern.
Any king?
I give heed to the fact that I have your queen, Claresca, here. He looks over at her. She shivers. You notice she's wearing rags. She has scars all over her body. Her hair has been cut very short with some kind of sharp implement by somebody who clearly does not know what they're doing, and left marks on her head.
All right. There is about to be many changes within this world that you know.
Like the size of my hoard.
Yes. But wouldn't it be beneficial to be on the side of a good king, perhaps?
The side of a good king. Oh,
To have an influential word, perhaps?
wonderful. Beautiful, I'm sure. Get me my gold, or I keep the queen forever.
All right, like you said, 30 days.
30 days. Good luck.
But you have to make sure she looks better than that. Give me your word, my lord.
He casts prestidigitation and cleans her up almost instantly, making her look clean and healthy and vibrant. She's still wearing the same clothes, but all the dirt is removed, and her hair is washed suddenly. Like so.
Thank you.
Are you ready
Alright.
to leave, mortal?
I'm ready to leave.
Right, he picks you back up again and flies you back across the countryside to your companions at the wall. Now, in the meantime, you guys have been standing around at the wall. Or perhaps not. Perhaps you've been dancing religiously. Now that Ren has finally left you, you can start your cult.
I think we were trying to save as many of
It's a
Balkinard's men that we could do,
Okay?
that we could. And probably just in utter shock at the fact that there was a dragon.
Right.
That took off with Ren.
Yep, and
Yeah.
he left his weapons behind too.
Edryn will likely search the Abjurer, as well as just pick up his head, and then have a what's it called? A mage hand, just constantly kind of hovered around with him.
Right.
Floating head.
Yeah, just basically holding it up from the kind of the dripping base of the head, as
Okay.
the spectral hand is just constantly
The spectral hand is
hovering
under it,
around with
so
him.
he's not like holding
Yeah.
it by the hair. Doesn't have
It's
hair
like a
either, so
hoverboard.
that
No.
makes sense.
Yeah, more like balancing it.
Okay. A little bit like a Tensor's floating disc kind of a deal as well.
Yeah.
In there, yeah.
Hey,
okay.
if we put.
Wait,
if
hang
we
on. How
tie-
heavy is a head?
Not that heavy. I think a
Okay.
A head is about like 4 pounds or something.
It's a
Okay.
wee bit heavier than that, I think.
Is it? Maybe 6.
Russell,
Wouldn't be
About
10 pounds.
about the weight of a pumpkin.
I
Yes,
would have
Barry.
discussed with him where he wants the money put, or where he wants to meet to get the money.
Well, as you're flying back, you can raise this with him.
Yes.
All right, you're flying.
My lord,
What is it, mortal?
a small thing, but where do you want us to leave the money so that you can?
You will bring it here.
What do you mean here?
The place I found you. The wall.
All right. All right. How will you know it's there?
I will be watching the wall.
All right. All right. Okay. Absolutely.
And if it does not please me, I will kill her.
You want 100 of those big coins, right?
At least. And that might be enough to please my tastes.
All right.
And he puts you down.
Thank you.
30 days. Takes off again. Starts flying away.
Well,
Somebody's got some noise
So,
going on.
how did
she-
it go?
is she about this high? Certain color hair, he mentions.
Was
a
she
bit-
quite precocious?
Yes, quite.
That's her.
That's her. Okay. Yep, she's alive.
Is she well?
Well, let's say he did. What was it?
Prestidigitation.
Yeah, prestidigitation to make her well. After I told him to.
So well
But-
enough.
Well enough. But we only have 30 days, and I think she's an important asset.
Aye. If we wanted to secure her for Regan, that'd secure a degree of the protectorate.
He wants about 100 of those coins, if not more.
We've got a few of them to spare.
He wants them bought here. He'll be watching.
Okay. We should be fine. Aye.
Incidentally,
quick-
Dala has, at this point in time, fallen to her knees into a kind of a prayer, and she's sitting there with her head rocking back and forth, praying to Sehanine Moonbow. She's just chattering in ancient Elven right now to herself.
No, a queen's ransom we can afford.
How are you doing, Lord Balkinard?
What even has just happened here? Did we see a dragon? Was that real?
Yes, that
that
was a
was real.
dragon.
All these years I've lived in these stretches between here and Thrain and all the way to Ancorn, never a dragon. Never have I seen one. I've heard of stories of dragons, but this creature was so frightful and majestic at once.
Sorry about your men. didn't expect this to happen.
Now,
No, we did not plan for it.
The situation was a little bit, yes, different from what we were expecting.
Good day, are you all right?
You were praying.
Ren, I thought the dragon carried you off.
It did, and I'm back.
Oh. Don't do that again. We just busted you out of the sufferance, and then you go taking off with dragons.
Oh, sorry, thief of the world. Yeah. Yeah, well, sometimes, as you know, sis, you have to do what you have to do.
But
Yeah.
she's alive.
She's alive. And she will be for 30 days. So we've only got 30 days to do what we do and get back and get the money and make that 30 days count.
How long did it take us to get here?
Oh, about 8 weeks.
Thought so.
But we came over land. If we were to take Leith's fancy boat, how long would that take us?
Well, you would have to get to some water first.
And I'm not sure that the boat would hold 100 enemy strikes.
This is true.
Could we stuff them inside the bag of holding?
Or both of them.
Not that many anim strikes.
Not that many.
Could we send a sending to someone, say, can you send us 100 anim strikes, and then they sail it around, we meet them somewhere, and then...
I have an idea.
Because there's no way we can get there and back in 30 days.
I have an idea that it might be a very bad idea, but you know how we have a chest?
Hey?
Why don't we just give him the chest? And then when he opens it, and then when he opens it, he has something else to contend with, and we just run away. And hopefully he brings the princess to the meeting spot, and we just take her and go.
I do like that plan.
Yes, that is dependent on the princess being present.
That is
which we cannot confirm.
Don't forget one tiny little thing. We don't know what's in the chest.
we know there's a demon in the chest.
No, we don't know that.
Type of demon.
We know that one chest had a demon in it. We don't know that the other one had a demon in it.
I believe both chests had the...
No, we do know that the other one had a demon in it because Pyrex told us that there was a demon in the chest.
Yeah.
Also, Russell, the engravings on the outside of the chest, I did an Arcana, and they both said they were kind of like demon inscribings, right? Or was it just one of them?
Yeah, but we don't know what kind of demon either.
They were wards. They were certainly entities related to these chests.
Okay. There's something in there. We just don't know whether it's an imp or a,
Well, I can't call
To be
him
fair,
back.
this one has not talked to us. Dala, can you send a message to Maeve? Maybe he has a way of transporting closer to us. And maybe we can meet them on the way. Like we go this way, and then go that way.
Why not the boat that had the money in the first place?
Because it will take too long for it to get here. It took us 8 weeks to get here. We have 30 days.
And there's too much on it. We can't give the entire thing. That's our war effort.
If we give all the gold to the dragon, then all of our prince's war cash is gone.
Could we go to Vaingate and get anim strikes from there and come back? Would that be closer?
Yeah.
Vaingate? Where do we have anim strikes in Vaingate?
We did find them underground.
In the sepulchre.
You mean steal more?
Oh.
If you consider it stealing, we still don't know who it really belongs to.
Liberating more.
Giants, long dead. It's not belong to Vaingate. It's fine. Hey, that's semantics.
How far is it to get to Vaingate? It's probably...
It's
just as far, right?
Similar distance, yeah. It's like 5-6 weeks to Vaingate from here.
it might be a sending. It might be good, as Goodale said, to do a sending to Maith. See if he can get it to us swiftly. Because
That sounds like the best plan.
yes, or sending someone down there to at least send a boatload, because hopefully it'll go quicker by sea. But if we can jump between spots like Maith can, it might be much easier for us.
Lord Balkinard heaves himself up onto a side of a stool that's been set up for him by his men. And he says, "Why don't you just kill the dragon?"
I was just considering that. Have you seen a dragon before, Lord Balkinard?
I have not. Have you?
We do have 30 days to prepare.
Ren, would you be able to lead us back to his cabin? Or wherever he is from?
I did take note of the journey. Could I?
There is a chance that you could. You know for sure that there would be some very difficult climbing up there at some point.
I'm not quite sure that we're prepared for a dragon quite at this point. And Leith is kind of just wringing his hands and looking quite anxious.
Preferably, respectfully, I do not think there is enough of us to fight a dragon and come out of it unscathed. Unless Lord Balkinard, you are willing to contribute some troops.
Of course. This is Queen Claresca of Scartabel. We must save her for the Protectorate.
This is...
It is our...
Some of this terrain is really hard, though. Really, really hard.
How scary did the dragon look, Russell?
Speaking as somebody who was in his mouth,
it wasn't
absolutely
a baby
bloody
dragon.
scary.
Oh, apparently we're all muddled up on the video, according to the chat. That they're just like, hopefully they'll notice soon.
Yep, that's what happens from time to time. That is exactly what happens. This is what Zoom does.
I have become Nyla.
All right. So,
I'm Ren.
You're
Hey,
Ren.
I'm the ghost
I am in
dragon.
I am in winter. I am in winter.
Who the hell am I? Well, I don't believe we have the forces, but if we were to prepare for the next 30 days with your forces, Lord Balkinard, I believe we could strike a devastating blow to the dragon.
Are you Leith or are you Dala?
I'm Leith.
You're being Leith, right. Oh my god, what the hell?
Oh,
Okay,
sorry,
now...
I thought that was a very good Leith, thank you.
That was a very good lead.
Thank you, Michael. I really appreciated that reflection of myself. It was...
Max, you're Dala.
Okay, hang on a second.
Oh no.
He's going for props.
I'm Adrik. I'm a gold fix hammer smash. Rip off a door.
I gigantify.
I gigantify.
I used at least 3 more adjectives than that.
A bit more of a Scottish accent.
The adjectives. Adjectives.
Adjectives.
I think you deserve an inspiration point for that, Russell.
All right. Hang on, somebody has to go for seriousness. Come on, let's get on with it.
We're just
Edryn.
waiting so Russell can put the videos back in the right place.
Yeah.
Barry. That's all we're doing. We're filling air. But apparently
Edryn.
the audience likes it, so it's all good.
That's good.
Okay, now...
Edryn,
Yes,
you
we
seem
could-
to... You managed to talk to the beast. How much do you know about dragons and that particular variety?
Good question.
I guess I would need to make some sort of a history check.
I think you might have to make a history check too. Yes, that seems to be a fairly accurate description.
A fairly accurate description with fucking laser beams. 22.
22. What do you want to know there, Max?
Basically, Adrik has asked me,
Yes.
what do I know about dragons, or at least this specific
kind.
breed of dragon?
So I guess like its age, how powerful it is for its age.
Yeah, what sort of
this
lair might it have?
I can see that it's white, but I don't know as far as I know about what Adrik knows. He doesn't know anything about white dragons.
And before we go any further, she's in a cage much like you were, Ed. It's got all little things on it and, writings and...
Well, if Adrik can just rip the door hinges off again, we might be okay. Other than that, we might need to do some sort of specific...
What do you know about white dragons, Edryn? Well, I'm going to suggest that you know that they probably breathe frost breath and do cold damagey type stuff. They probably have resistances to cold, you suspect. All the fairly common sense stuff that you would be able to surmise from the history books and things that you've read. I mean, you've never studied dragons specifically, have you?
No, I think other than it popping up in the histories or potential, like folk stories and fairy tales, sort of.
Right. Yeah, I mean, what you know that there are approximately each area of the world is famous for a few dragons, like named dragons that lived in a certain part of the world, and you haven't really studied those, but you know that they have names and they have lineages, and the older ones date back to very ancient times and are said to be either dead or imprisoned under the ice around here. There's a story of a great white dragon that was buried in the ice under the Frostmoor Plains many years ago, and its head or something is supposed to be the mound next to Ankhorn, and its tail is in Thrain, and its body is part of the Frostmoor Pass. So that dragon literally must be thousands of miles across if that was a true story. So yeah, that's the sort of stuff. A lot
Could
of
I
it is
tell the
folklore.
age?
The age of the one that
size?
you saw.
Yeah, in terms of like, would it be an old worm or would it be like vaguely fresh?
Well, it depends what you mean by vaguely fresh. It's definitely more than a few hundred years old.
Yeah, but it's not.
It's not like
great
worm size. It's not the sort of. It's not something that's going to knock comets out of the sky or save moons or anything like that.
Yeah, and it's not greatly matured. Obviously, in context of a dragon rather than human years. In the context of a dragon,
it seems to be
mature-wise.
It seems to be about the point where it's reaching full maturity.
Right. Okay. On the cusp of full maturity.
Yeah.
Right.
Very good.
So how do we take it down?
What white dragon? I'm assuming it breathes fire.
Ice. Or frost. Very cold.
But it lives in the frost. Why would it breathe ice? That makes no sense.
Isn't this a meme? Is this a meme?
It's that one I sent a little while ago in the group chat.
Well, think about it like this. If eventually, with the overpowering nature of ice, the fire might just kind of... Plus, it's good for staying low. If you breathe fire, there's smoke, there's the chance of burning a lot of things. But if everything's frozen anyway, you just melt a bunch of ice, and then there's water, and then it freezes.
But how do you melt the ice if if you don't have fire, you have frost? I'm
You don't
assuming a
melt the
lot of
ice, you
things
add
in this
to it.
area has resistance to ice. This makes no sense. But
I think
also-
it has potentially anything with coarse fur can, survive decent amount of cold, but probably nothing that this thing can sort of dish out. But fire would possibly be the best course of action against this thing.
Okay.
I do think perhaps we should head back to Balkinard and see what troops we are able to muster and make a plan.
Aye.
Russell,
So,
did I find anything on the Abjurer?
anything on the Abjurer?
You realise he's
Abjurer.
he's also going to be able to see anybody that comes this way, like an army, for instance.
Edryn, you will have also found that he has he has a bag of holding.
Oh. Wouldn't have
Three?
made a mental list.
Do we have dress, bag of holding?
I'm not entirely sure what's in here. I can't really pull anything out. Although, with the levitating head, I always say if we could ask him if there's a way to get him talking.
You can
That's a
speak to
good
the dead.
idea.
Levitating head?
I can't. Or the
Mage hand.
mage hand. It's kind of
Hovering around the head.
Lord
Sort of hovering
Balkinard
around.
kind of looks at this hovering head, and he's a bit creeped out by it. You can tell he's a bit kind of like, what is this grotesque display?
I can cast a spell to make the dead speak. Is this head really the one you want to converse with?
he was dubbed the Lord Abjurer, and the other one was mage. So I think best to go with the higher status.
Right.
Can he kill us if he can speak?
Will he be able to speak with everything below?
I'd like to go over all of the rules contained within the spell before we do this.
I mean, he's still got his tongue, so surely he'll be able to talk.
And
Voice comes from this bit.
There's another slight problem I thought of. I'm sorry for thinking of all the problems. But when his head starts talking, he might get all magical and zap us all.
He can try, but then he'll just fall into the snow.
That
And
is
that's that.
what I just said.
And most spells with verbal components will also need something, either hands or an item to be able to work. They need a focus.
Out of game, speak with dead, I think, only brings back the memories. The actual person is gone.
Right.
So the soul has moved on, and it's like a
Right,
shadow of it's like an imprint.
Right.
So it knew what they knew, but it can't gain any information. So we can't literally talk to him beyond death.
Right.
Okay, so
just
it's kind of like
he's
a
kind of like a puppet.
A puppet. Okay.
Oh well, yeah, we thought of the exact same thing.
Okay, cool.
I like you, Edryn. It's very good.
All right, so what are you doing then? You've got the head.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to cast the spell?
I'm lighting the incense and I'm casting the spell. Oh, before I cast the spell, I think we usually have enough time to ask 5 questions. Are we sure what questions we want to ask?
Ooh, maybe only one person should talk because we have a habit of talking over each other and asking many questions.
We should. We don't need to do this now either. If we want to, we can consider what questions we want to ask. And
It can be any length of time dead, or
does it matter how decomposed he is?
He must still have a mouth.
Okay, so we'll pack him with snow into a bag, put him in the bag of holding.
We could put him in his own bag of holding, and then we just name him and get them out.
Put him in a bag with snow just to keep him fresh, and then we'll have a chat to him back at the castle.
That's a good idea.
Excellent.
Balkinard, do you mind if we just go home?
He says, so you swear to the gods, Ren Talandaran, that you saw the queen, Claresca, and that she was safe?
Yes.
I see. And the dragon proposed 30 days?
Yes.
What did it say exactly?
It would give us 30 days. We should be here by the 30 days.
I see. At this exact place?
Yes. And it wanted 100 of those coins.
Which coins do you speak of?
The big, giant...
Annam strikes.
Annam strikes.
Yes.
What? That is outrageous. That is a ridiculous... We cannot possibly obtain 100 Annam strikes.
My lord Balkinard, do you have 100 Annam strikes?
I do not have a single Annam strike. They are ridiculously rare.
Okay. We have access to some, to a hoard.
What? A hoard of Annam strikes?
Yes.
You have access to a hoard of Annam strikes?
Yes.
How is that even possible?
Friends, before we go any further, shall we come clean with everything?
Well, why
Balkinard
not?
steps back and crosses his
depends.
arms.
Depends on if you want to know what you don't want to know.
You'll find it interesting, my lord. I'm sure I will too.
Well, here we are in the middle of nowhere. There's no one around, and the spies that we sought to eradicate are now dead. You've done that. Two of my soldiers have also been killed in this outrageous attack. And now we are faced with a dragon that demands a ridiculous fortune for the return of our sovereign. Is that correct?
And I would suggest that dragon is probably still watching us here. So perhaps we should go back to town and talk about this there.
I want one last piece of information here. You say you have Anim strikes.
Are you familiar with the rumor of a theft in Vaingate?
Lord Balkinard makes an intelligence check. He looks at you. He says, I might have heard something to that effect.
Do you have any idea of the magnitude of the theft?
I know that the Barachiel envoy are very disturbed at present.
The magnitude of what we stole from beneath the streets of Vaingate is enough that they took Vaingate. They would see us dead.
Well, them, not me.
So harboring you here in the north...
For me, I wasn't there.
...puts my own life and the life of my children at danger, then?
No more so than a dragon.
If I may, my lord, you have also already partaken in the death of 2 Barachiel wizards. I think currently, while obviously we helped egg that on, it was also you who suggested laying some sort of ambush, and I think we are all now incorporated into each other a lot more than just us being a hindrance to you. I think maybe you have taken 1 or 2 actions that they might not look kindly on yourself.
We are not here to lay blame at one another's feet.
Not blame, just I think regardless of us, they might not be happy with you either, and it's good to stick together.
Stops his horse for a minute and he turns around and he says, if I may speak plainly with you all, sirs.
Certainly.
If we were to return the Princess Scartabel, or the Queen, should I say, to Vaingate, and we were to restore her to her throne, if we were to do that, I suspect that the wealth and power that would come our way by performing such a noble act in and of itself would reward us for many lifetimes over.
Is the risk worth the reward, then, my lord?
Well,
that is for you to decide.
Great claims so far that you have defeated many creatures and monsters and enemies.
Consider the alternative.
Dragon to you.
Aye. If we were simply to pay off the dragon, it would still exist. It would pillage and attack your countrysides for decades and generations to come. Friends, we're not just rescuing a queen. We are rescuing a countryside. We're securing a future for children to come.
If you secure Queen Claresca, and I will do my best to assist you in whatever way I can, but if you can destroy this dragon and assist her, then you will have my loyalty, and that of my men and my fort, for your future endeavors, whatever they may be.
Captain?
I think we may have ourselves a deal.
Very well then.
Let us return to town and
prepare.
draw up plans to prepare. Yes.
All right. So with that, you guys start moving towards town. Sorry, Dala, you have a thing.
I do. How long has it been since these men have fallen and died? Apparently.
15 minutes, 20 minutes.
To be fair, I did say before the dragon, like just before when the dragon went off, that Dala and I would have been trying to heal anyone that needed saving, and probably would have been trying to save the dead people.
Right. Well, you saved 2 of them.
Okay.
What were you going to ask though about the time period, Dala?
Well, I was going to try to revivify them, but
yeah. What's
the
I think there's only 1 dead, right? Because I healed up 1 of the ones that fell.
So there were 5 knights total. 2 were injured. 1 was Ren, and then 2 were dead.
And one was on the brink of death that Leith saved.
One of these guys was on the brink of death, I think.
Sounds good.
So we've got 2 dead currently.
Okay, cool.
Out of game, it's all flavor at this point. You're heading back to town.
Okay.
So
okay, cool.
It's not going to make a lot of difference except for your consciences. All right, so you get back to town with your consciences, and they throw a quiet, friendly feast in the honor of our guests from the south. And they don't invite too many people, and it's really quite a quiet little affair, but it's a feast nonetheless. They cook nice food and they put on some entertainment, but it's quite chill.
I think Leith would probably ask that we're given the opportunity to meet the guard, the soldiers that are like at least the captains of the guard that we're going to be working with.
Okay. Yep.
And just to at least socialize with them and get to know them, what their personalities are like.
All right. Well, the Master of Arms, his name is Stenwick Lothbridge, and his next person in line is Arissa Moranis, Sergeant at Arms. If you want more names, I can give you.
Yeah, throughout the evening, we'll probably just say hello and say.
Right, just get to meet some people.
Not really say anything about the dragon unless Lord Balkinard wants to talk about it.
Not at this point. He's
but say that. Yeah, we have a top secret kind of job.
What he does
that we need them for
is he organizes for you to have a meeting with him and Elektos. And so after the meal is over, various people piss off essentially, and Elektos comes down with his young boy, and they seal the doors, and it's just you guys now. Elektos looks around at you and clicks his staff a few times on the floor, and he says, so, I've been told that you have a problem.
Yes, just a little problem.
Small problem?
No, actually, that's wrong. It's quite a large problem, and
well, out with it then.
Well, we've come to an agreement with Lord Balkinard that that we will be assisted by the army that is standing here.
Goodness, that's quite a lot of assistance, isn't it, for what you're doing? What is it that you're doing?
Well, we're going to... I can't believe I'm saying this, turning to everybody else, but we're going to go and slay a dragon.
Slay a dragon? What? You're out of your mind. It must be a very small dragon if you're serious about this.
Not really. That's why we need a standing army.
Really, Balkinard, you're going to let them take your standing army out of the town with that filthy mage running around as the bailiff? Balkinard sits back for a minute and thinks about this. I don't know that we have a lot of choice, Elektos. The only other option that I can think of is that we engage Pyrex into this situation, and perhaps the dragon will eat him.
It really is unfortunate that the dragon attacked while you were on convoy and slew most of his friends and several of your knights.
Well, can we
And
bring
we have to run away.
Can we bring up the dragon at all with anyone else at this point, or does it just look like we're making up lies to
I have a
justify
feeling.
ourselves?
I have a feeling that Lord Pyrex is going to be trying to question anything anyway.
He can always bring up the zone of truth.
I feel like I did fairly well against it last time.
I have a vague feeling as well that pirates may be in cahoots with this dragon in some small way.
Really?
What makes you say?
Possibly.
It has Clariska.
Yes.
And the
Right.
eyes,
The eyes.
his eyes are very draconic-like.
Oh,
Truly.
Wonder
good
if he's a servant of the dragon.
Nyla is going to walk out of the room very quickly.
Okay, where does she go?
She's gonna go to the street and see if she can find Timaeus and his sister.
Right. Well, you can make a investigation check for an hour of investigating.
Dirty 20.
Wow. Okay. As you're going through the marketplace, Timaeus comes up to you and pulls your sleeve.
Just a little bit of. Hello.
Hello.
How are you doing?
We're good, thanks. Did some of what you asked us.
What did you find out?
Nothing. You asking about where the bailiff lives, right?
No, I said I wanted you to track him. Let me know where he goes, who he talks to.
Doesn't go anywhere. He stays there. He hardly ever leaves. If he does leave, he takes that stupid palanquin thing with his slaves carrying him around like a huge warthog and a sandwich.
Yes, I know that already. Did he go anywhere?
He went to see the king. Sorry, the castle. Went to the castle one time yesterday, but they didn't have him and they sent him away. He was very angry and he went back home to the Blackstone Owl.
Okay. And you didn't see him leave the Blackstone Owl?
No, he stayed there. He's been there the whole time. He goes to the bar, I think, but he lives up in the top floor. I
Did
think
you see
the whole
anything?
top floor belongs to him? Can you believe it? He's got enough money to have the whole floor to himself.
Yes, that is wild. Did you see anything come out of his windows?
I didn't see
Like a
nothing.
bird.
Like a bird? No, I didn't see nothing like the bird coming out of his windows, but I can have a look if you like.
Yes, that is your new assignment. Just tread lightly, okay? And I give him 2 more gold coins.
Okay. And he runs off.
I trudge back to the castle after this.
All right. You're trudging back to the castle. Meanwhile, everybody else is at the castle having a ball. Dancing.
My lord.
Doing the Macarena. No, okay. Yes. My lord. Yep.
You have already slain 2 members of the envoy. I do not think it would go amiss if a third went 6 feet under.
I see the logic in this. A little trickier, though. He is ensconced here and has been here for some time. His disappearance would be very suspicious.
Say and think no more of it, my lord. We
Yes.
will we will take care of it.
You are indeed. You have been very helpful. Perhaps more helpful than those Frostmoor crows. Huh. We shall see.
Helpful in different ways, more likely.
Perhaps. Very good. Now,
Very quickly, if you could also tell me, my friend Day,
yes.
I obviously woke up in a cage, and I'm unsure of,
His
is he still
whereabouts.
lodged here, or is he back at his home?
He is at his home. You can send a message to him if you like, to tell him that you're here and that you're well. I will do that.
I'll go see him, actually. I'll
of course. Very well. As you will.
To him.
All right.
I'll be going with you. Just in case.
Very good.
All right. And everybody else is doing what?
I'll go with Edryn.
Going with Edryn?
I think it best, my lord, that we begin to make plans in the morning, but for now we probably have other matters to attend to.
How long would it take you? It would take you days and months to make armor, wouldn't it, Adrik?
Adrik could probably manage Russell. Michael has no idea. But how much would you think making a good full plate of armor take?
Well, in real life, it does take months to make a suit of full plate armor.
Right.
And you'd need all the right tools. And a full suit of full plate in real life, you're talking about a team of artisans building that over like an 8-month period or something. But it is high fantasy. You are a dwarf, so there's those factors. I think that being said, if Adrik was to be put in charge of a team of blacksmiths, he could forge a suit of armor in a couple of weeks.
Okay, so I could manage a suit of good, strong, full plate armor with a team in a couple of weeks.
Shame we haven't got a couple of weeks.
But I mean, what you got done when you went to Highbrook was you went and found
We
a bunch of...
do, Barry.
You found a bunch
30
of...
days is more than a couple of weeks.
Well, I thought we were going to go and get her the next morning.
Oh.
No. We've got to make plans.
Sorry, Russell. What were you saying about the dwarven plate?
I was just saying that you could feasibly purchase some parts of that armor could be stuff that was off the shelf per se, stuff that had already been built for generic kind of usage, and so you could mix and match some generic plates to fit together to build up a suit that felt more specific to a person. That being said,
that might be something I'd give a go to Barry, and some parts of it would be like, bits lying around, bits that we'd bought, and I think Adrik could also just, while walking one day, see some farm implements and feel inspired and just take those.
Right. I mean, I think that you could build a suit of something that might be more like splint mail, in a shorter period of time based on armor that already existed. It might look a lot like plate armor, but it will have the mechanical effects of being splint.
Okay, cool. We can talk about that off stream.
Yep, we sure can.
Okay.
What exactly? Hang on, because before there was the cage, I was in a room reading my book. Leith was at the window.
You were possessed by something. You went to take the chest out of Dala's bag of holding, and we managed. Well, Nyla and Leith managed to stop you before anything untoward happened.
What's his score?
Right. Did you find out what it was that...
I put on the crown, Edryn, I saw a bird, smoky, dark sheep, fly off into the Blackstone Owl. So, I can be reasonably sure that Pyrex decided to use you. And we had to set off the next day, and we left Day and Zin to look after you. Which reminds me, just go check on Zin.
And then I ended up in the Barachiel hands, which would stand to reason. Where's Day and Zin?
Nyla, where is Day and Zin?
My back.
Oh yeah, are we still in that room, or are we walking?
Well, Nyla was off doing her own thing.
I
Oh,
ran.
right.
I got a look on my face, went, "Oh God," and then ran.
Oh well, Ren was there too, so I guess ask him. Ren, how did Edryn end up in that cage?
Okay, your guess, my friend, is as good as mine.
But you were here.
I saw him in the cage. That's as close as I got to the whole thing. I saw him coming to join us in the cage.
Okay.
Edryn's gonna start making a strong beeline towards Day's house.
Okay.
My lord.
Yes.
One should be calm. Okay? Just be calm.
Adrik's gonna rush past Edryn because I think my adopted son's been hurt.
Right. Okay.
One can be part calm and one is dead, and I will follow him.
Right. So you're rushing across the town of Balkinard.
Leith's kind of warning systems are up, so he's going to follow.
Are we on foot or are we on horseback?
We've got back
On
to the things.
foot.
I think we're on foot. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're on foot. I don't think would be trotted with the time it takes to get.
I have but one thing to say. Civilians.
Right. Fair enough.
Okay.
Okay. So you're traveling across the city. Dala, what are you doing while that's going on?
Dala's going to follow Leith, and if Ren is still in the room, she'll probably grab his hand and drag him along.
All right.
But
All right. Dragging him along to where?
Following Leith, who's
Following Leith. Right. Okay.
who's following Adrik.
Who's following Adrik? And Nyla, who are you following, if anyone?
Well, I was
You're
out,
still in
so
the
do I.
middle
So,
of
so
town.
do I meet them?
That is a great question. Both sides can make perception checks.
Perception check.
10. Perception check.
You don't notice them, but they might notice you.
16.
You see
9.
Nyla. Adrik does not see Nyla.
Sorry,
Ren
guys.
is oblivious because he's being pulled along.
Okay, very good. Ren is oblivious. Good
I
day.
somehow managed to cut myself.
24, you see Nyla. Does Edryn see Nyla?
I'm going to just say Edryn is too busy on running and focusing on breathing and heavy duty exercise.
Right.
To take a look around.
Okay. Well, all right. So you know who's seen Nyla then? I've told you, right?
Yep.
Leith.
Gadale will use her message cantrip so she doesn't raise a fuss in the crowd and just say, Nyla, we're heading over to Day's place. Just here.
Oh God.
Oh, it's okay. It's just what do you call it? Message. So I don't think there's quite the same constraints.
I'll start making my way to Day's house.
Right. Okay. Well, when you converge there, the door out the front is shut. Edryn, you're first.
I'm going to just try open it because it was open before.
Okay. It appears to be somehow locked.
I'm going to rap on it in a very...
No response.
And just keep knocking until someone...
You hear a cat meowing on the other side of the door, and you hear it knock something glass over that rolls and then falls to the floor and shatters.
Adrik?
Do I hear the glass shatter? Have I got here by now?
You can make a perception check, Adrik.
Okay. No, dog. That's a 6.
Okay, yeah, no, you're too busy running, and you didn't hear the glass.
Aye.
Would you kindly do the honors of doing what you did before with the cage and kicking this door open?
Without hesitation, Adrik enlarges, and he's going to put his enormous foot through the door.
Okay, bear in mind that for the remainder of the scene, a gathering number of children and peasants will be gathering at the door of this establishment.
Yeah,
I'm panicked. They
let's
can
make
watch.
a scene.
All right, you smash the door in. Is that correct?
Yes, indeed.
All right. There is you're in the front office of his establishment. You look around. You see that a lot of the cabinets have been broken or smashed, and things have been ripped out.
Zen! Zen!
I immediately go into his back rooms.
You find Day and Zin hanging from the ceiling, corpses, blood dripping off them. They've been tortured and abused and killed.
Do I walk in on this?
Anytime you feel like it, Adrik.
So there's Adrik with the silence. Adrik already knows what's happening, and he heavy footsteps through the wooden building. Ducks under the door. No, 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 no! He goes up to Zin and he hugs him and he holds him and he... no!
Hearing that, Leith is going to race up the stairs to see what's going on.
Okay.
Nyla's on his heels.
All right, you all burst in to find Adrik holding the swinging corpse of Zin.
Oh,
Dala,
Her
how long?
to undo the ropes.
Do you undo them or do you cut them?
Cut the ropes, yeah.
cut them down.
Them down, yeah.
How long, Dala?
Usually a minute.
I need to anything. Please.
I'll try. I don't know how long they've been like this.
Adrik pulls out all like 5,000 worth of his rubies. Anything, please.
Okay, so Dala gets out her diamonds and she tries.
Nyla Gates takes her diamonds out and just pushes them towards
Can
Dala.
the sword help?
I've got
at all?
two.
Unfortunately,
what do you need?
Occurred many hours ago.
Edryn, I'm sorry. Edryn, I'm so sorry that we're too late.
Adrik carries Zin's body out into the snow.
Can we perhaps get him to a church?
As you're out there, can you make perception checks, please?
It's too late.
15.
19.
9.
Edryn's still inside, he hasn't left.
Okay. Nyla and
Oh, I
Adrik.
would have stayed with Edryn if he's still there.
Adrik,
I'm
you
not.
still inside, or are you come outside now with the body?
I've come outside. I'm holding Zin.
Okay. And you and Nyla are there together. Anybody else
15.
can be there? Okay, you're there, Barry. You see the enormous corpulent form of Horatio Pyrex being carried about the corner in his large palanquin at the far end of the street, and he kind of stops and waves in your direction, and you hear something about, "You'll think twice about crossing me again."
Right.
Adrik puts Zin
I'm
down
over
and
there.
charges. He's going. And also,
I'm over there. I'm killing this bastard.
Yep.
Adrik charges. He's flinging peasants out the way. And while I'm charging, because fuck it, I'm going to be dramatic about this. I'm also going to invoke my stone rune on Pyrex.
Okay.
Leith just stands in front of the townspeople and says, "Please clear the way."
Pyrex!
I'm putting a thing on my sword as well.
And I need pirates to
Hunter's
make...
Mark.
You can't do all of these things, but all right. I get the.
It's drama.
I get the gist of it.
Get us on initiative then, Russell, because we're
I'm
gonna
about to do that in a moment.
He'll think twice before dealing with us. He'll think twice. I liked that boy. Oh, for fuck's sake, it's gone stupid again.
Me and Edryn are still inside with Day's body.
You should probably roll initiative though if we can hear.
Yep.
Okay, so rolling initiative. Edryn.
18.
Oh.
Fuck off. Oh, that's a
Leith.
9. That's nothing.
I rolled worse than you, Michael. I got
Ugh.
1 + 1.
So
14.
2.
So you got a 2.
Can I switch my initiative roll with Adrik? Because I got a 23. I'll happily take a 9.
Nope. Adrik.
14.
What was yours? A 9, Adrik.
9, yeah.
Goodale.
I got a nat 20, but I think Goodale's probably going to hang about in the doorway to protect.
So you want to hold her actions?
Yeah, I'll hold her actions. Yeah.
Okay. Ren, what did you roll?
14.
14. And Nyla?
23, but I'm still inside. Just
okay, that's cool. All right. Okay, so Nyla, you're going to skip your turn because you're inside.
Yeah.
Goodale, where are you and what are you doing?
I'm in the doorway, just to protect the privacy of Edryn and what's happened inside.
Okay. All right, so you're staying there? You're not making any moves per se?
I'll probably bring up my spiritual weapon and point it in the direction of the bastard.
All right, just in case you get the chance. Yeah. Okay. Edryn.
Edryn. Oh, there isn't a window anywhere in the back rooms, is there? Or like a slit, or like a shutters.
There is a shutters thing with like a cage out on the outside of it.
But can I see through it?
Yep.
Yeah. How much can I see through it? Can I see the courtyard?
Yep.
Like the front of the. All right. Edryn is going to look at the glass. He's going to take Nyla's hand. He's going to squeeze it.
No glass.
He's going to turn to Nyla.
There is no glass.
Sorry, not through the glass, the window. Apologies.
Yep.
My bad. Through the open window.
Yep.
The open shuttered window. Take Nyla's hand. Squeeze it. Turn to her with a tear running down his eye and go, "Will you help me?"
of course.
And I'm going to cast Thunder Step.
All right.
So we teleport from the room. I can see 90 feet as close to Pyrex as I can.
All right.
Question: Have we wouldn't have taken a short rest, have we?
No.
No. Okay, just double checking. Yeah, I'm gonna Funkus as close to Pyrex as we can possibly get. Or as close as we can get, I think.
Oh, that's good.
30 feet away from him if we can. 30, 25 feet.
We damage him.
30 or 25?
30 feet. 30 feet from him.
30 feet. Very good. Do you have any other bonus actions, movement, or anything you want to use right now?
Bonus actions. I'm out, so that's the end of my turn.
Okay.
Can I say I held my turn until Edryn had his turn?
No.
Damn it.
Ren, it's your turn.
All right. I am gonna. Can you hear me?
Yes. Thank you.
I am gonna run at the guy.
Mm-hmm.
Misty Step.
Yep.
And you
Go
know
from
the
behind?
spell at the yeah.
Basically
Go from
appear
behind.
behind him and attack him from
Yeah.
there.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm not caring about honor this time.
Okay. So Ren, you charge at him. You
Yeah.
Misty Step behind him. You
Yeah.
attack with your longsword. Roll to hit with your longsword, please.
Hang on, let's go. Let's be careful with this one. Long sword. Okay, here we go. 26.
26. Okay, that's a hit.
Yes.
That is a hit.
And the damage is 13.
Nice. All right. So that 26, let's just check. That was a 19. Okay, not quite a Vorpal hit.
Yeah.
You wish. All right, cool. Do you have another attack in this round?
Yeah, I have 2, don't I?
You get 2 attacks per turn?
Yeah, I think so.
Let's double check. I'm pretty sure you're right.
Check.
Lay on hands, additional paladin spells, fighting style. Dueling is your style. You've got lots of smites. Abjure enemy, have vow of energy. Oh my goodness. Extra attack. Yep, you can attack twice. Cool. Alright, roll to hit. Are you adding anything to this attack?
Target. 20!
Hunter's mark. Okay, yep, that's a dirty 20. So
Yep.
that's a hit.
Yeah.
Roll your damage.
Seven.
7 points of damage. What did you do on the last hit?
I did. Oh, what was
13.
the
You did 13. That's
13.
right.
Yeah.
Okay, 13. Cure bananas. Alright. At that point, he turns invisible. And then the thing on top of the palanquin, with a slash of blood across it, across the inside of it, just drops down and tears open, and there's this flapping sound.
Russell,
Yeah.
I asked you last week if you could put on that challenge me one.
Right. Yep.
Yeah. Could you
Have
put
a
that
look,
on?
see if
I
you
would
can cast
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Well, you might have just used all your actions, unfortunately. So I don't know if you can cast it this round.
Okay.
That would be the primary issue I have here, because what you're talking about is
Compel Duel.
yeah, Compel Duel.
Yeah.
For some reason, it keeps dropping off your character sheet. But you did say that. I remember you said that, so you wanted to have it up.
Yeah.
Compel Duel. Can you read it out for me if you've got it there, Adrik? Michael?
I can pull it up. Give me 2 seconds. I have it on something else entirely.
Otherwise, I can pull it up too, but it will take me 2 seconds as well.
Who's faster?
Anyway, I got it.
All right.
You attempt to compel a creature into a duel. One creature that you can see within range must make a wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, the creature is drawn to you, compelled by your divine demand.
So you have to see
For
the
duration.
creature, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, well, it's invisible.
Okay.
So that's not going to work. Also, I think it's going to be an action and a spell slot.
It is a bonus action.
It's a bonus action. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, you could conceivably have cast that, but you cannot see him. Although, to be honest, he cast
But I
his
know where
spell-
he busted out from.
He cast his spell after your attack, so
Yeah.
you would have had your Compel Duel spell during that moment, actually. So tell you what,
Yep.
let's use it. Let's use it. So what are the rules for Compel Duel?
Wisdom saving throw.
Wisdom save.
On a failed save, the creature is drawn to you. I don't know what Barry's DC is, unfortunately.
Okay. All right.
And it is concentration for up to a minute.
Okay. Unfortunately, he turns invisible, and you hear the cracking sound of the wind on the cloth of the palanquin as the base of it suddenly springs up because the slaves are no longer bearing his enormous weight.
Okay.
Did he do the wisdom throw or not?
You've no idea.
I need to know this for a component because if he rolled a thing, I would woe it with my reaction because I'm close enough to make it lower. That's why I'm asking.
Will you be able to see him to do that?
I don't have to be able to see him. Oh, I do have to be able to see him. But if Edryn jumped us to where we were, we should be able to see him.
Well, he's invisible. He's just cast invisibility.
Was that after Ren's turn?
That was after Ren's turn. Yeah, that's true. Okay. So, what are you proposing?
So the wisdom saving throw, I have 3 cosmic omens. It's a reaction. Whenever a creature you can see within 30 feet of you is about to make an attack roll, a saving throw, or an ability check, you can use the reaction to roll a d6 and subtract that number from the roll total.
Right. Okay.
So that's why I was asking if he did the wisdom check.
All right. Well, it won't make any difference. Is the bottom line?
Then, no, never mind.
Okay. So he's gone invisible and he's used his movement. Apparently, Adrik, it's your turn.
I'm going to rush over to where he was.
Mm-hmm.
Are the slaves still there?
Yes.
Fuck it. I don't think Adrik's particularly coherent right now. He's just going to swing at where he thinks he might be. He's going to take a shot in the dark.
All right. Tell you what, can you make an insight check as you go to do that?
I certainly can. That's a crit.
A crit. All right. So as you are moving in to do this, you hear the crack, and obviously he's gone invisible, and you see the slaves. They all look up momentarily as if they sensed him lifting off the ground.
Okay. Where they're looking, I'm going to swing my hammer.
All right. Roll to hit. You have disadvantage.
Oh, okay. I'll roll that a second time. Apologies. That is a 14 to hit on that first attack.
14 does not hit.
Okay, I'm going to swing again for my second hit. Ah, bollocks! Neither of those do it. Actually, no, neither of them do it. The other one of them's a fucking 3.
As he begins to literally fly off, you hear his voice from above you all now, saying, "You will never catch me, fools!" Ha 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 ha!
I'll find you, Pyrex, and I'll take my pound of flesh. You've plenty to spare, and my rage is bottomless.
And we shall end our
My
scene
turn?
here. Unless you've got something up your sleeve. It's got to be more dramatic than what he just did.
I can
I
cast
do.
Summon Beast, and I can make it fly and try and get it to attack the thing. But he won't be able to see
What
it.
I would like to do is go over to Gadale, get the Crown of Shadows and put it on, and with my true sight see if I can spot him in the air, if that's possible.
All right, so that's going to take you at least 6 to 12 seconds to do.
Yep, I'm happy to do that.
All right.
Oh, wait, hang on. If it's how far am I away from Gadale?
Well, you're within 30 feet of her, I think.
Okay, yeah. I'll do that and then see if I can
Okay.
spy which direction he's going.
As
I just not even slowly doing it. It's just astral crown thunks straight on my head.
All right. You see this dark trail in the sky leaving your vicinity and heading towards the Blackstone Owl, which, when you look at the Blackstone Owl through the crown and using True Sight, you can see its Shadowfell equivalent, and it's kind of buzzing with flies and insects and creatures of the night fluttering around it, and it's kind of infested from what you can tell. It's like the top floor of it particularly just has this swarm of pestilence flying about its entrances and exits and windows.
As I see the trail and look at the Shadowfell styled iteration of it, Edryn just says to himself, "I know where to find you now."
Edryn, at that moment, can you make a perception check?
Gladly. Oh, hang on, because I'm wearing the crown. That's a little bit lower. Sorry, let me just put it on.
Let us kill the evil man, Russell. Let us kill the evil man.
Not in this session, I'm afraid.
Oh, I'm going to use my inspiration.
gonna use your inspiration to up that perception
Oh,
check.
I
to,
re-rolled the natural 3 for a natural 20 for a total
Wow.
of 21.
Edryn, as you're looking at towards the Blackstone Owl, you see beyond the Blackstone Owl, and you see Castle Balkinard. And beyond Castle Balkinard, you see the mountains and the Frostmoor Pass leading up into the mountains. And somewhere up there, you see this flash of black light pouring out from back there somewhere. There's some very strange anomaly up in their mountains behind Balkinard in the Shadowfell. And
Awesome.
Okay, last questions, last actions, last words, lines of dialogue, witty repartee. All right, we'll call it there. Thank you, everyone. Thank you all for coming. Thank you for watching. Thank you, viewers. We are going to raid
Thanks for watching, everyone.
We're going to go raid some random channel now.
So are we going to rage or are we going to rage?
I'm already raging.
I'm raging now.
We raging.
You're not even barbarians. You can't rage. That's against the rules.
I'm a dad, damn it. I'm allowed to rage.
Right. And you did.
I did. I super did.
All right.
Oh, thank you, Wolfskin Witch.
Thank you, Wolfskin Witch.
Thank you, Wolfskin Rich. Thank you, everybody who watched. We're all on the edge of our seats.
Just before we go, Russell, what are the plans over the Christmas season?
Over the Christmas season, well, my plans is whatever. I mean, if you guys want to keep playing, I'm up for it. If you want to take a break,
I'm more meaning, are we playing next week?
Are we playing next week? If we can get everyone together, let's play next week.
Yep. Okay.
Next week.
Yep.
It will depend on my mental state.
All right. Well, we can have that conversation. In the meantime, let's raid. What's the name of this channel? Blackwater D&D. Here we go. Raid now.
See you later.
Bye.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.